Drafted and signed in '09, called up to the majors in 2010, Steven Strasburg quickly became one of the most exciting pitchers to watch in all of baseball. Locking him in for 7 years, the Nationals now have the cornerstone to continued success in the future. Today, he looks forward to Game 1 of a doubleheader against the Marlins. Number 37 on the mound today for the Nats, and Washington has really had some battles with these guys from Miami. The season series is 4-3 Washington right now. Marlins still a couple of games over 500. The Nats are 9 over. FP has the day off. We have dubbed this day night with Ray night. Game 1 at 1 o'clock, game 2 hopefully at 7 tonight. Might be some rain later. Ray, good to have you with us, and you manage in the big leagues. You know how important it is to have big bats coming off the bench. But these home run bats the Nats are featuring right now, really something.
Well, it's one thing to have guys that get on base, maybe guys that can run, but to have guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, and we've got 4 guys over there that can do that. And I can't measure how important they are. I just know that when I managed and the other team had those guys, that they could send one man up there to do damage and maybe put the ball game away. It was very tough to handle.
So Drew in the 6th, Chris Heisey in the 8th, and that's his 14th career pinch hit home run, number 1 active. The Nats have 6 of them already this year, and they were in successive at-bats for the first time in Nationals history. So Drew getting it done, Chris Heisey getting it done, and he's now number 6 on the all-time list. Steven Strasburg, welcome to the rest of his career now that he's committed to our team and our city for quite a while. He's been a revelation, Ray, adding that slider and the cutter here and there to an already powerful repertoire of pitches.
Yeah, I would just say the most important signing that the Nationals have ever made. You look at Scherzer, he was a free agent. You look at Worth, a free agent. But here, you're signing your own. You're making a statement. A guy that comes up through your organization, you develop. He grows into loving Washington, and you're able to keep him here when he could have gone on the free agent market and maybe gotten more money, but shows you how much he loves this town and believes in this ball club.
Hey, how about the bullpen backing up the starters last night? 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. They struck out 4, didn't walk anybody, and a double play ball. Get this, folks, the bullpen. 4 innings last night on 45 pitches, 31 strikes, and Jonathan Papelbon able to close it out for his 10th save. The bullpen, great last night. Strasburg looking to be great today. Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you. Capitol looking better and better every day as we look north from 1500 South Capitol Street, southeast. In D.C., the Nats at home are 11-5. The Marlins have been pretty good on the road this year at 10-6. Washington took care of business last night. Well, possible storms later. That humidity will probably go up. Right now, a delightful 71 degrees under a sunny sky here at Nationals Park. The Marlins are 4th in the league in hitting at 275, 12th in runs, 11th in home runs. Justin Bour, though, he's a Virginia guy, and he likes Nationals Park. His career numbers here, 4 homers, 11 RBIs. He's done some of that damage against Steven Strasburg. 5 hits, a homer, and 5 RBIs against the Nationals. 27-year-old ace, one of several aces on this staff. And he is 11-7 with a .346 in 24 starts against the Miami Marlins. So, Ray, a lot of that contract stuff should be off Steven's mind right now. He can just go out and play some baseball.
Well, he certainly should, and he's done that since last July as he's been so effective. 5-0 this year, throwing the fastball consistently, came up with that little cutter slider, hybrid type pitch. The curveball we know is exceptional, changeup. He has a 3+ pitches, and so excited that he's going to be around a long time. Has enjoyed watching him so much over the past 4 or 5 years, and I know he has to be settled. He talked more than anything about his family and what it meant to his family's future.
Derek Dietrich will be the leadoff man, hitting .315. First pitch, fastball right in there. We're underway at 107. Dietrich is their leadoff guy now, with D. Gordon suspended whenever they face a right-handed pitcher. And he also has an on-base percentage of .398. How many times will we say swing and a miss today? 7-year veteran David Rackley is behind the plate. First base, Roberto Ortiz making his major league debut. Alfonso Marquez is the crew chief at second. Chris Guccione, third base. 0-2 pitch. Fastball crackling upstairs at 96. Dietrich against Strasburg, 2 for 10 career. With a home run, he's hit 2 this year, driven in 13. Got him on the outside edge. 83 with the breaking ball, and that's how the ball game begins.
Kind of textbook there. 96-mile-an-hour fastball, slider down and in, wasted fastball, then goes to the hook outside part of the plate. Gets the call. Showed you all 4 pitches there. 4 pitches, his whole repertoire.
And here's Martin Prado. Nationals held him to an 0 for 4 with a base on balls last night. Still hitting .373, third in the league behind Murphy and Aledmys Diaz, the young St. Louis shortstop. By the way, the Nats are back in first place alone. Mets lost again last night. Matt Harvey roughed up in Colorado. It's a 1-game advantage. And don't look now, but the Phillies are a half game behind New York. 0-1. This ball driven to right center, hanging in the air for a while, and called by Taylor. Bryce was there first, but Taylor had made the call. 2 outs.
Well, he's always in charge there, the center fielder. The ball slicing away from him, moving right toward Bryce, probably, and a little easier play for Bryce, but hey, take charge. You know, Michael Taylor hasn't played a lot lately and runs him right off the baseball. That's what he's supposed to do. Bryce gives away nicely.
2 outs, bases empty for Christian Yelich. This 24-year-old outfielder having a fine season. 10th in the league in hitting. 6th in on-base percentage. So his on-base percentage, you go with that .322, is .434. He drives one to center. And Taylor's just going to watch it go way out of here. Back by the back wall. Marlins on top. Yelich is 5th of the year. First homer, second RBI against Strasburg off of his bat. And that was a monster shot.
Yeah, not too many times you see the center field stay in his tracks. Center fielder, as he just turned, looked up, and basically waved bye-bye. This ball is scalded. Fastball, center cut. Couldn't be any more center cut. Christian Yelich, one of the finest young hitters in the game today.
Stanton coming in. Nats will overload on the left side of the infield. He's hitting .250. And Stanton will pop one up. Short center. And Murphy will yield to Taylor. I tell you, things happening fast in the first inning. Not many pitches, and the Marlins are on top. A 10-pitch first inning. Marlins have hit their 33rd off the bat of Christian Yelich. Here's the Nats lineup. You notice Michael A. Taylor back in there today. Bryce Harper is now the on-base percentage and walks leader in the National League. So 37 walks as they piled up over the last week and a half, and his on-base percentage, .456. Wilson Ramos back in there today. The Nats against 24-year-old left-hander Justin Nicolino.
See, he throws a lot of fastballs. He's a guy that just picks the edges of the plate. Doesn't overpower. You're going to be somewhere 88, 89. Curveball, changeup, pitches to contact. Doesn't strike very many people out. Usually 3, 4 a game.
2-0. And by the way, in his first 19 innings as a big league pitcher, at least this year, 3 strikeouts, 6 walks. 7-4 career, 16th big league start, second-year man. Nowhere very near on those first 3.
Yeah, you will see him do this. Just try to hit the edges of the plate. Tries to stay out of the middle of the plate, but throws a lot of balls on the edges. And when you say pitch contact, you normally think a guy's going to throw the ball down the middle. Not this guy.
That's a 4-pitch walk to Michael A. Taylor, who only walks for the 6th time this year.
Marlins defense, Yelich at left, Osuna in center, Stanton in right. Around the left side, Prado, Hechavarria, and Dietrich, Bohr, right side, and Mathis catching today. Nicolino, 24-year-old, 6'3", out of Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, drafted originally by Toronto, came over in that mega deal when a lot of Marlins went to Canada a couple of years ago.
12-player deal.
Yeah, here's Rendon. And a flat-footed quick step-off throw. He bounced it over there, and Taylor back pretty easily. Michael A. Taylor, 4 out of 5 stealing. And the first thing you think of here, there's a left-hander on the mound, a right-handed hitter who loves to spray. And there's a lot of ground ball room on the right side of the infield.
It really is. Isn't it? You drive a couple of semis through that.
There goes Taylor, not wasting any time, and he appears to be in there.
Easily.
Michael A. Taylor stayed on the bag, and that's number 5 for him. Pretty good makeup throw by Jeff Mathis, the veteran catcher.
He got a really good jump there. After the step-off move, he goes on the first move, head down, easily safe. About a foot and a half, 2 feet. What was a very good throw, wasn't it? Right on the bag, making it closer than it was.
Mathis had caught 2 of his first 3 trying to steal. Only playing in his 8th game of the year. Rendon started his bat and stopped. And we haven't seen a strike call yet.
Really critical for the Nationals to pick up a run right here. I always loved as a manager and certainly as a player when the other team comes up, gets a run early, you just tack one right back on top of them, and kind of like the old game horseshoe. Somebody rings the horseshoes and you top them and you get all the points.
And then afterwards you go have some refreshment.
Yeah, lemonade.
Southern lemonade. And the good thing about this is, so far, Taylor and Rendon haven't done anything to help Justin Nicolino, who is 1 pitch away from having to face Bryce Harper with 2 men on base.
Yeah, well, when you're talking wild, sometimes you're wild in one area. He's been wild outside, in, up, and down, so he is actually all over the place.
3-0 pitch. Got to be taken. Might take another. Although if you get one right down the middle, you can drive Anthony Rendon looking to jump all over it. Trying to get things going, hitting .223.
Yeah, just look in a small area. Be aggressive to that small area. If it's there, swing it. If it's not, spit on it.
There it is. 2 on, nobody out. Bryce Harper. Decisive swing in the bottom of the 7th, ironically, after a walk to Rendon last night.
Slider out away from him, and right out there where the bat barrel is, and just kind of golf that up there. Those balls always go 10 rows deep, don't they? At least.
Bryce, number 11, RBI total up to 29, so he's back in the hunt again in the National League home run and RBI race, second to Nolan Arenado's 13. And third to the 31 RBIs of Arenado and Yoenis Cespedes of the Mets. Bryce hitting .429 with runners in scoring position. And the first time he met Nicolino, he went 2 for 3. That was last year, September 20th. Nicolino started a 13-3 loss here.
Bob, Nicolino over the course of his career in the minor leagues has only averaged 2.4 walks per 9 innings, so a little unusual for him to be wild.
10 pitches, 1 strike.
Osuna playing about 380 feet from home plate.
Yeah, and I looked out. He was playing Rendon about that deep.
Gosh.
I don't know if Marcell Ozuna has a thing about not letting the ball go over his head, but he was playing Rendon about that same spot.
That's as deep as any center fielder plays there.
2-0 now. Strike call, borderline pitch.
Yeah, as an umpire, I'm not gonna start umpiring up here, but as an umpire, when a ball is that low right there after a guy throws 10 out of 11 balls, there's no way you give it to him.
Yeah, on the Mercedes-Benz pitch track.
No way, it was down on the pitch track.
And yeah, we know the pitch track box loves the low strike.
I mean, you've got to establish the strike zone before you start being given strikes.
3-1.
Okay.
And if he's going to walk the ballpark, the Nats will let him here. Daniel Murphy on deck. Wait till you hear Murphy's numbers against left-handers this year.
I'd like to see him just try to sneak that fastball by him inside right here. 3-1.
Ballpark quiet. Bases loaded, nobody out. Bryce Harper walks for the 38th time. And here comes Daniel Murphy.
Well, let's look at how they work Bryce. We know that he's trying to go to the edges. He goes away about 1.5 feet off the plate, then another 8 inches off the plate with a hook, then a changeup he calls a strike, then another ball, 2.5 feet off the plate. So nothing even close. Even the pitch he called a strike was a ball.
Murphy, .448 against left-handed pitching. Best of any hitter in the league. And that includes right-handers, by the way. .483 runners in scoring position. And one more number, Nationals Park, he's hitting .429.
Wow.
Everything beginning with fours, the way this guy's going.
He's been really, really good, hasn't he? Understatement of the year.
Outfield continues to play very deep. First time he's ahead of a hitter. Murphy, 22 RBIs on the year, leads the league at 405. Off speed, blocked by Jeff Mathis.
Well, as deep as Osuna is in center, Yelich is that shallow in left. He has seen a lot of balls off of Daniel Murphy's bat, line drive to left. He's playing, now they're about 280, and Osuna's about 380. Stanton just about straight away, maybe a step deep.
Murphy has never hit a grand slam, but he's driven in lots of runs with the bases loaded. And he goes to right field, heading for the scoreboard, and that is caught by Giancarlo Stanton. Productive out in more ways than one. It ties the game. Over to third base, Anthony Rendon for Murphy, RBI number 23, and by a millimeter on the bat, he missed that first career grand slam.
Once again, puts another nice swing on the ball middle, and he actually barreled that ball pretty good, maybe just 1/8 of an inch underneath it, because he had enough juice on it. It didn't look like to me it got in on him at all, just a little too tall.
Next up, Ryan Zimmerman. Like Murphy, first career at bat against Justin Nicolino. So there's the answer that manager Ray Knight was looking for. You're back tied now. Huge early in the game. Yeah, it's on the outside edge.
Holy shit out here.
Corner situation now, so Ryan wants to elevate something.
He's about as good as there is in the game in this situation right here. He generally gets a good pitch to hit. He's not trying to be too aggressive. Likes the right side of the field.
Harper running, and he had a great jump as Ryan fouled it off.
And what do most pitchers do when you have a situation with runners on third? You try to pinch the hitter. That means throw inside, because that causes the hitter to roll over the ball and hit ground balls. If the ball's out away from him, the bat barrel's out there. You tend to lag it a little bit, which means you drop the barrel just a tad, and that tends to lead to fly balls to center and right.
0-2 pitch, a throw over.
2 strikes right here. This is where you have to just battle and try to make some kind of contact, but still be aggressive enough that you're not trying to just put the ball in play, because that results a lot of times in double plays when you become defensive.
Ryan, 8 RBIs his last 11 games. Bryce Harper, 5 out of 8 in steal attempts.
And talking about his move, we talked to a lot of the people with the Marlins, said that he did not have a very good natural move to first base, that his best move was the step-off move that he showed Taylor earlier, that right there.
How many throwovers is the last one? That's 3. Zimmerman gets, it appears, enough of it. Ozuna's got a good arm, but Rendon has great speed. It's a strong throw home. Anthony is safe, And Harper goes to second base.
Great slide, great tag, going as soon as he touched the ball. Rendon getting a great jump off of third base, and that's what made that play. That was a rocket from Osuna from center field.
Don Mattingly, by the way, held out his arm for a while for a possible challenge and now goes back down the dugout steps.
Zim doing what he has to do, making contact, fly ball contact. There you go, perfect jump. This kid can run too. Gets in there, beautiful slide to the backside of the bag, gives him the best chance to get in there safely, and he does.
And also a great read by Bryce Harper, knowing that throw would overshoot any cutoff guys. He gets into scoring position for Jason Worth.
And also right there, that's that old out for a run deal where you tag it first and hope that if there's any play at the plate that the cutoff man cuts the ball and tries to get you out, you're just getting a run down and taken out for a run, but so close at the plate they couldn't afford to cut it.
Yeah, best of both worlds for the Nats. So 2 runs without a hit. Jason Worth looking for his 20th RBI. He's 1 for 3 career against Nicolino with 2 batted in.
Getting right back on top. This ball club has done that so many times this year when another team jumps out to the lead. Also does a lot for the starting pitcher, man. You give up that run in the first inning and offense comes back and gives you 2.
Now Harper stealing third without a throw. Bryce has been itching to go this entire trip around the bases, and he finally swipes third for his 6th of the year.
Well, a lot of people tell you not to steal third base with 2 outs. I'm not one of those people. There's a couple of things that happen. Now you get set up for a wild pitch, pass ball, you score. But also there's a lot of times, having played third base, when that guy breaks from second, there's a pitch, a ground ball right through that third base side.
Worth into left field, and he scores. Bryce Harper. So just like that, the Nats with 1 hit have 3 runs in the first inning. And that is number 20 for Jason Worth. Too hot to handle for Echeverria.
Yeah, that was smoked. Smoked right here. Fastball out away from him. Really short and compact. No wasted movement there with Jason Worth. No chance to come up with that ball with the overspin.
Now it's Wilson Ramos, who's hit .425 in the last 12 ball games, hitting safely in 10 of those with 7 runs batted in. He's 0 for 2 against Nicolino. So Jason Worth might be the pick to click today. With that base hit, 3 career RBIs against the Miami left-hander, who's now thrown 24 pitches and still doesn't have 10 strikes. Ramos, foul.
Just not taking any bad swings. That ball a little in on him. Got down on the barrel just a little bit, but over these last couple of weeks, I don't know that I've seen him swing at a bad pitch. He hasn't been out in front of anything. He's been just right on the baseball. This timing so exceptional.
1-1. Great take.
Another good running count here. He might score with a double, 2-1 if he throws a fastball. Can score on a double, breaking ball, he steals it easily.
It's on the outside edge. Jason Worth had a pretty good lead. The lefty had him moving back toward the bag on the pitch.
He did. He saw something that didn't feel comfortable and started edging back toward first.
Now it's 2-2. Ramos up the middle into the mid of Justin Nicolino. So how about that first inning? 3 walks, 2 steals, 2 sac flies on 1 hit by Worth. It's a 3-1 lead. Baseball ever. Yeah, it was just 3 days ago. Max Scherzer's first no-hitter. Well, that was a year ago. But the 20 strikeout game, then a couple of no-hitters. So we've got a two-part no-hitter bobblehead combo coming to you. And on May 23rd, first 25,000 fans receive piece number 1. Nats Mets that night as an added bonus. Nationals.com/tickets. And maybe somewhere down the road there'll be a 20K bobblehead too.
Yes, sir. Nats defense and a good one. Worth, Taylor, Harper in the outfield. Rendon, Espinosa on the left side. Murphy, Zimmerman on the right side. Ramos catching. And big Steven Strasburg twirling the rock.
First inning for Steven, 10 pitches, 8 strikes. Justin Bour has been a bit of a nemesis. Couple of walks, 5 hits, a homer, 5 RBIs career against Steven. Shift is on. Ball 2. Outfield pretty straight up. Daniel Murphy, 40 feet into right field. Low, 3-0. Strasburg on the year, 59 Ks, 4th in the National League, 12 walks in 50 innings. Missed with a 3-0. Marlins have some good outfielders. It's a great combination. And we'll go inside the numbers with Jeep. Now that Marcell Ozuna is warming things up, they're 3rd in batting average, on base percentage, the best in Major League Baseball, slugging, on base percentage plus slugging. 21 home runs between Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton.
Yeah, and they're
and a
all
couple
babies.
of other guys who
they're
played
all,
out there at various times.
Yeah, they're young, boy. Those numbers are good, but we've often talked about in the last year that they may be the best, at least the most talented outfield in all of baseball.
Ozuna 25, Stanton 26, Christian Yelich 24. And they have 2 of those guys locked up with long-term contracts, the left fielder and the center fielder. And then there's Marcell Ozuna, who came into the series with an 11-game hitting streak, 1 for 4 last night. So 12 games, 17 for 38. And he's got power. 9 career hits against Strasburg, 2 home runs. Batting average up to 296. Swing and a miss. Strasburg strikes him out, career for the 8th time And that's Stevens' second K of the day. Nissan will track it.
Yeah, he goes change up there. Look at the bottom drop out of that. Moves in, which causes you to have to try to get the barrel out front. But with the speed and the deception off of his fastball at 89, great spot, outstanding movement.
Echeverria, the shortstop, next. You know, Ray, there was a time in baseball when right-handers wouldn't throw change-ups to right-handed hitters, and the same for lefties. But when you got an 89 to 90 mile an hour change-up, that'll change a few things in your approach.
It sure will, because, and too, with the movement. Straight changes can get you in trouble because it's a matter of being off timing. But when you have a changeup that is 10 miles an hour off your fastball with that movement that's almost like a screwball type movement down and in, it makes it very tough for a hitter to be able to adjust speed-wise and certainly to be able to cover a ball that moves that much.
Echeverria, fast runner, but he has bounced into 4 double plays. On a play right side. A lot of folks still coming in. Beautiful day at the ballpark. We'll see how long it stays that way. We've heard reports of rain between games of the doubleheader. Right now, couldn't be nicer. Little breeze blowing out towards center. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. There it is. Front door with the off speed. That's the curveball in there. And Echeverria, no chance. Strikeout number 3.
Well, it's tough enough to be able to hit a 90 mile an hour fastball. When a guy's featuring hooks and sliders and changeups, and then he still has the 97, 98 in his back pocket, almost makes it unfair. That's why the man got the long-term contract.
Yeah, here's Jeff Mathis, 33-year-old catcher. 4th year with Miami. Been a capable backup, and right now backing up their talented youngster, JT Realmuto, who's only had 24 at-bats this year with 3 hits. 1 for 6 career against Strasburg, who'd love to get him and go against the pitcher leading off the 3rd. Nationals are 12-7 against the East after last night's win. In the air, short right center. Murphy pointing up so Taylor knows where the baseball is, and Steven Strasburg walks the leadoff guy and then mows down 3 in a row. Espinosa, Strasburg, and Taylor coming up. Great day for the fans here in Southeast. Coming up, bottom of the second. And there may be 7 or more today. When that happens and the Nats get a W, and this is all season long, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com. Nats code is Nats50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Official pizza of your Washington Nationals, and that's valid at participating area, as in DMV locations. There's Danny Espinosa, 2 for 18, right-handed. First at bat career against Nicolino, who had a very rough first inning. 28 pitches. He missed with 16 of those. Danny's come alive, 7 hits over his last 24 at bats. Danger count 2-0 here. But it's off the plate, and Espinosa takes it. Danny's walked 11 times this year. Good stick on deck. And another one of those Nats pitchers who's helped himself out with the bat this year, Strasburg.
Sitting in this spot 3-1, hitting in the 8 hole. He ought to come right at him with a fastball here.
Good fastball hitter. Swinging a foul tip on 88.
Try to trick him with a breaking ball. You get a runner on first. You know Strauss generally is going to bunt. All of a sudden they start. As you look at the balls and strikes there, still got a long way to catch up.
Full count. What else is new? Nobody out. He's already walked 3 guys. Espinosa to the right side. To his left, Derek Dietrich for the first out. On May 28th, check out the Taste of the World pregame food festival. Special ticket gets you bite-sized culinary delights and entertainment from more than a dozen embassies. So we've got our own Embassy Road down here at the ballpark that day. Take home a set of Nationals salt and pepper shakers as souvenirs. 21 and older, as you saw the disclaimer. And here's Steven Strasburg, 4 for 16 this year. So he's hitting 250, career batting average up to 153. First time through the order, Nicolino throws first pitch strikes to only 3 of the 9 batters.
Well, the only pitch he's thrown for a strike has been his fastball. He hasn't been able to get his changeup for a strike. That was a slider. He hasn't been able to get it anywhere close.
Strasburg, hot shot over to Prado, plenty of time, 2 outs. Well, Ray, you love it when you get a couple of steals on the heels of some walks. That's how you build a rally in the first inning with only 1 hit.
You surely do, and Michael Taylor's just the guy to get it rolling for you. Great jump, beats the throw easily into second base, and then the fly ball to center field. Watch Rendon perfectly timed the tag, safe at home as he didn't have a whole lot of room to spare. Great slide, and then Bryce never looking Nicolino back to second base, and Bryce still's third, standing up.
3 walks, 2 steals, couple of sac flies, and Worth gets the only base hit. Just like that, it's 3-1. That was Michael A. Taylor's 21st career steal. So he took a strike inside edge, ball 1 off the outside, trying to keep the second inning alive for Anthony Rendon. Same pitch, same result, ball 2.
Just hanging out there. He's trying to work it off the outside corner to backdoor it into the strike zone, and he can't get it to break. It's just flipping out there.
Oh, big rip. 2-2.
He's got a pretty swing, short to the ball. Still think this guy's going to be an exceptional major league player. When you look at a tools guy, there's just not anything he can't do. Got to hit for an average. That's the one thing that he hasn't done yet, but he has the power, the speed, great arm, outstanding range defensively.
I think once Michael learns there's a lot of hits up the middle and to the other side of that field, he's going to be just fine.
You're right, partner.
3-2. He's on for the second time. And maybe Dusty Baker turns him loose with 2 outs. Walk number 4 by Nicolino.
Well, he still second easily the first time with just a normal lead, so he can actually stretch it out 2, 3, 4, 5 more inches and make him throw to first base. It's called a one-way lead, where you get as much as you can and you're leaning back toward the bag, trying to draw a throw to get his best move. And then once he makes his best move over there, then you can go off of that and steal the base as he did the first time. He's out there pretty good. He's right out to the cut.
Yeah, he is. Every ballpark's dimensions on that cut of the grass a little different. But we know here at home that when a base runner gets his front foot out to that little cut to the left, we know that's a big lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. There he goes a little further. Wow, looks like a generous call on a 1-1 pitch. David Rackley has been a pitcher's umpire today with the strike zone. So that shows you how wild Nicolino has been. He's given some calls off the inside and outside edges. Target in there again by Mathis. Oh, they got Taylor, but he got back. Michael A. was just about dead. His legs were kind of buckling. And if that throw is right on the bag, they would have had him.
That shows you how bad the move is, though, buddy. Anytime you have a guy that's starting to break and the guy still can't pick him off, that's not a good move. See, he goes over there, he holds it so long he's able to get back. So you don't have to go right on the first move. This guy he doesn't really know yet how to delay that leg kick.
Change up, Rendon takes it, ball 2.
And once he takes that right knee past the rubber, you're free to roll anyway, because then he can't throw over there. I imagine he'll wait the 3-2 count before he does anything, especially since he was not quite sure on that one.
2-2. Target in again. Rendon, feeling he has to swing, foul tips it. Well, you're playing a doubleheader, and your starter in game 1 is nearly at 50 pitches after 2 innings. Marlins have a problem.
to add an extra player to their roster on days that they have a doubleheader, a 26th man, and typically that goes towards a pitcher, either a spot starter or an extra guy in the bullpen. The Nationals today deciding to add Matt Den Decker to their roster, and there might be some thinking that's tied into Bryce Harper on that front. Harper is currently appealing a one-game suspension, but he could potentially drop that appeal between games today. That would allow him to serve the suspension in the nightcap. Den Decker would be another left-handed hitting outfielder that Dusty could use. Dusty hinted at that earlier today, saying we should have word on Harper's appeal soon. Soon might be after today's first game.
Well, you know, go out, get on base 3 or 4 times, help the team win a ball game. Maybe not a bad time to do it, Dan. Good thought, and that's Dan with our Coons.com. Sideline report, over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Justin Nicolino 0 for 6 this year, 1 for 31 career. Strasburg goes 3-1. Doesn't want to walk the leadoff guy again. He's actually batted twice against Steven without a base hit. 25 pitches, 16 strikes, first 2 innings, and Nicolino serves one off to the left side. Three-two. Getting his hacks. Justin Nicolino from University High School in Orlando. 24 years of age. Starting in a big league game for the second time. Actually, second time against the Nats. 16th time overall. And he's just leveling off and aggravating the opposing pitcher right here. Strasburg, 25 pitches in 2 innings. Now the other guy is going to make him throw at least 9. And he misses. Second walk by Strasburg. It's a great at bat by a pitcher. He's aboard for Dietrich, Prado, and Yelich, the next 3. And here's the whole at bat by Mercedes-Benz.
Well, he goes down right there. Look at all the other pitches as he was probably through 6 strikes in that at bat. Couple out of way and that one low.
That's a swing and a foul that hit Wilson Ramos. Dietrich struck out looking first time.
Sometimes pitchers, like in that sequence there, he threw the last 4 pitches all fastballs. They get the idea that the opposition just cannot hit their fastball. Well, he didn't necessarily hit it. He did foul it off. He could have dropped a changeup on him there or any kind of pitch that was spinning anywhere near the plate, and he had no chance.
That's right to the outside edge.
He's got that thing working today, that curveball to the outside corner against the left-handers. Look at this ball start off the plate and just work straight down, 12-6. That is really a plus when you can throw that curveball for a strike.
Had him reaching on 0-2.
Same pitch. Maybe a little lower in the strike zone. A lot of times, Steven, after throwing a couple of breaking balls out there, then he'll come right inside real hard, trying to nip the corner, inside corner of the plate with that 96-mile-an-hour fastball. See what he does here. Going back out there again.
Bouncing ball off of Strasburg, but to Espinoza for a 1-6-3 double play.
Yeah.
Danny was heading for the bag, had to stop in his tracks, and made a good pickup, and always has that strong arm to finish it off. So that erases the base on balls.
Ball was hit hard. Deflected right there off the palm of the glove. Danny changing directions and then throwing with that, as you mentioned, that strong arm, a little flip, and still had some giddy up on it. Ryan looks like he's enjoying playing first, doesn't he?
He is. A couple of live arms over on the left side of that infield, too, with Espinosa and Rendon. Nats turned their 32nd double play of the year. Here's Prado batting the way you like it against him. 2 outs, bases empty. He's third in the league in hitting, but fly ball to center first time. Prado, 6th in hits with 44. That's a tapper in front of the plate. Strasburg, bare hand, finds the target and misses it. They're going to give Steven Strasburg a throwing error on that.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, he's there. Once he makes the pickup, he has all the time in the world. And I think, I didn't see him readjust the ball. Usually when you pick the ball up with your bare hand, you will spin it, get it across the seams, and be able to throw the ball more accurately. He just looked like he grabbed it and never made that adjustment, did it, Bob?
Yeah, it was, mindful of a pretty quick runner. Prado gets down the line pretty well. But he had time, and that's why the error was given. And here's Yelich, who hit a ball straightaway center a mile first time up. So it's 402. Actually, where it went over the fence, it's about 398, and you could add about 25 more feet to that as it hit near the dumpster on the back wall back there. By the way, we're the only people in the ballpark that can see that dumpster.
We're up here, aren't we?
2-0. I'm sure we have a camera that can find it, but
all you young hitters at home, watch Christian Yelich as he sets himself. He starts early with his hands and his front foot to get his bat in position.
And a 2-hopper to Daniel Murphy. So Strasburg gets the double play and another ground ball to get out of that jam. His first ground ball outs of the day, working with a 3-1 lead. (1-1-0) Miami. Bottom of the third, 3-4-5 for your Washington Nationals with Harper, Murphy, and Zimmerman coming up. Here's our next 5. Now tonight, Game 2, Tanner Roark against 24-year-old rookie Kendry Flores, making his second big league start. Tomorrow, Joe Ross and Jose Fernandez in a fantastic matchup. And WUSA 9 will be with us. Then it's on to New York for a 3-game set against the Mets. Finally, the Mets. Harper, a walk, a steal of third, and a run scored first time up. Is that his first 0-2 count?
I believe so.
Second, our brilliant statistician, Carter Myers, tells us.
I think it's
Thought I could sneak one by him. On-base percentage just skyrocketing now with all the bases on balls. That's a pretty hot shot past first. Bryce reaching out, getting a piece of it.
Real soft there, 87-mile-an-hour curveball. That's the softest pitch that he's thrown today. You don't see Bryce chase up there very often.
One ball, two strikes. Target way in. Harper fights it off and pops it up on the infield for Echeverria, using the glove as shade for the first out. So, if you can believe this, and we were astounded when we saw this morning, as our crew is showing us different things during the game. Look at the Nationals, doubleheader since the start of 2011. So add up the games, 34 of them, 17 doubleheaders over the last 5+ years. Hardly seems possible, and the Nats have done quite well.
They really have.
17 doubleheaders.
A little bit of rain in the early part of the year up here.
Yeah, I would say most of those would be from April to early June. Although we've been known to have some cloud bursts later in the summer. Here's Murphy, sac fly, almost hit it out of the ballpark first time. Ball 2. Three and 0. Daniel Murphy hitting .448 his last 14 games.
Just so quiet at the plate. Never seems to be impatient. Knows exactly what he wants to do, the pitch he wants to hit.
Taking all the way on 3 and 0.
Watches the ball right into the mitt.
Murphy, line drive, and within the reach of Justin Bour, 2 outs.
He smoked that one, didn't he?
He's smoking everything right now with that bat.
Everything.
Ryan Zimmerman is next. He's the only other batter than Harper that Nicolino went 0-2 on today. And he's ahead of Ryan again. Zimmerman sac fly right after Murphy's in the first inning, so Daniel picked up his 23rd RBI. Ryan his 16th, and then Jason Worth his 20th on the ensuing base hit. 0-2.
And Bobby, that's his 60th pitch. And the first time that he's been even with balls and strikes.
Yeah.
30-30. That's not good either.
Starting to find some command. That's up and in.
Looks like to me that he's gone to a little bit more four-seamer, throwing the ball straighter as opposed to trying to get so much movement as he did in the first couple of innings.
Back to 2-2 now.
Once again, high percentage of fastballs.
Now Ryan Zimmerman works the count full.
That's something that this whole ball club has done this year better than at any time that I've been here, is being able to get down in the count 0-2, 1-2, and work it back to where it's either 2-2, 3-2, getting them back in the count to get a good ball to hit.
3-2 pitch, target in. Zimmerman rims one to center, right at Marcelo Zuna. That thing might have been 10 feet off the ground the whole way out there, about 360 feet or more. Fans enjoying a beautiful day at the ballpark, and the scoreboard looks good. 3-1 Washington. we have troop recognition. This one brought to you by DynCorp International, proudly serving our nation for 70 years. Love it that the players take a moment in their pre-inning routine to applaud our troops, their families, and our wounded warriors. Steven Strasburg, right around 14 pitches per inning so far. Big power matchup here, Strauss and Stanton. He'll lean back from a changeup that was 88 up and in. .90 cutting away. Is that hybrid pitch you were talking about?
I think so. I think so. Because the other pitch he throws 90 is the changeup, and that's always diving down and in.
And he goes with the hard slider. Stanton, fly ball to center. He went 2 for 4 last night with a single and a double. Upstairs for the swinging strikeout.
What a perfect spot. The book on Stanton is to go breaking balls away and try to finish him off up, better close in. You don't want him to get those big, strong arms out away from him. He goes up and in. Target was outside, but a lot of times a pitcher has that feeling, I want to bust him inside. Target's outside. The hitter might just feel it out there. And my goodness, he had no chance at that pitch.
Justin Bour walked first time up, and that was leading off the second. Steven then went to work, striking out Ozuna and Echeverria, popping up Mathis. It's upstairs country hardball right now.
Yeah, what great rhythm Steven has this year. Bob, I know you've noticed it and talked about it. Just like Gio, I don't know if it's Mike Maddox, I don't know what. I know last year he settled in the last part of the season. But, you know, you don't see him stomping around on the mound or, you know, there he's going back just to get himself gathered. But he gets the ball. I bet you if you timed his pitches, they would be within 3 or 4 seconds of each other. He's just, he has such a rhythm. He looks smooth. Doesn't look like he overthrows. Remember how he used to just come off that mound and wheel toward first base, almost like he was spinning off the ball sometimes? A lot of that comes when you try to overthrow. But he certainly has it under control, as do all of the national starters. Just held on to that changeup a little too long. That happens sometimes when you want to make sure you finish it. And the way you finish it is through extension, and you'd rather bounce it in front of the plate than leave it up hanging. So that's a good sign for me when a pitcher bounces a changeup.
3-2 with 1 out. He goes off speed and misses. Justin Bour walks for the second time. 3 walks by Steven Strasburg today. That'll bring in Marcell Ozuna, 1 on, 1 out.
He didn't miss much on that pitch. Looked like to me it might have been top of the strike zone, but a lot of times when you start it high and it breaks late, umpire kind of gives up on it. Hitter gives up on it.
Ozuna struck out swinging first time. This guy wide open, likes to air it out.
He does.
Power stance.
Free swinger. Doesn't walk a lot. Good fastball hitter. Hits the ball good into the gaps. He's up there to hit now. He's not up there to look at it.
Yeah. Tapper. Strasburg had to reach to the backhand side.
Nice
Threw
play.
a bit of a lollipop over to Zimmerman, but Ryan into foul ground to grab it. And that's the second out with Bour going to second base.
Nice play right there by Strauss. He's coming off the mound. You get the swing. He goes and backhands it on the dirt part of it. Just like he's picking cherries.
Is that what that looks like?
Yeah. I don't know what that throw looks like. Like he's trying to goose it a little bit.
Okay. Thought he was picking a Georgia peach right there. You would
Okay,
know.
Georgia peach, they don't grow out of the grounds. Cherries may not do
Well, I mean,
either.
after they fall, that's when I pick them.
Yeah, okay. Well, one side of it might be a little rank.
Here's Echeverria, struck out looking first time, and that tapper is foul. Top of the fourth inning. Steven Strasburg not as sharp as far as command as maybe the last couple of starts, but getting key outs. He's already pitched around 2 walks and a throwing error he himself made. Now trying to pitch around 1 more base on balls to keep this 3-1.
Bob, you're so right. He's not sharp location-wise, but his pitches are sharp. He did bounce the changeup. That's a little slider he leaves up. But for me, his fastball is hopping. His curveball looks good. The sliders that he has thrown have been short and quick, but he just is a little off in his command.
One ball and 2 strikes.
That's just an easy 95. And you don't see any forced or any, I call it grunt method, where pitchers try to throw hard and they kind of grunt and they don't really get it up there as fast. Gio used to do that. Gio used to throw it as hard as he could. He just looks under control, man, to me.
A little cloud cover overhead now. One and 2 with 2 outs. Echeverria's been chasing lately, so he tried to get him out there. Counts 2-2.
Let's see what Wilson's thinking here. If we get a shot, runner on second base, they're probably going on the second side. Let's see. He goes fastball. We only saw the one. Let's see where he sets up. Inside.
Yeah, right down the middle, inner half, and the changeup missing inside. Three-two. Swing and a miss. Strasburg 2 Ks in the inning. The Marlins have had 5 base runners, but only 1 hit. The Yelich homer back in the first, and that is just power pitching. Is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid, all-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com today. Well, Bryce has an RBI, actually a run scored today. RBIs from Murphy, Zimmerman, Worth. 3-1 Nats after 3.5. Jason Worth to the box with Ramos and Espinosa to follow.
Just one hit for our ball club, one hit for them also.
Yeah, how about that?
There's just not enough, not throwing enough strikes. He's throwing everything. Ball, 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 ball.
Another 2-0 count. 66
walks.
pitches, 31 strikes.
Wow.
I mean, usually you're about to be taken out of a game with numbers like that. But the Nats hit into hard luck last inning. Murphy scorched one to Bohr. Zimmerman just absolutely crushed a ball right at Ozuna. Two-1 to Worth, who's hit 6 home runs. He's got a line drive to left, and Jason Worth is 2 for 2. Told you last night coming into the game, 12 of his 22 hits were for extra bases. And now, in his last 5 at-bats, he has 3 singles.
Well, he comes down Broadway. Jason drives it to left field. Once again, staying back on the ball, not any lost motion. When he gets in trouble, he just has a lot of moving parts. Right now, he looks like he's settled in, that his timing is very solid. And here's a guy that can be sneaky and steal you a base. Studies pitchers, works his lead, always thinking, trying to find an edge.
Almost bending his knees, trying to reach that one. Couldn't
Change
do it.
up. Starting him off with a changeup. He hasn't done that too often today. Mostly sinkers to start hitters off, but he hasn't thrown them for strikes. But he knows that Wilson is a superb fastball hitter.
Way inside. Jason Worth, by the way, 87% stolen base rate in his career. 123 steals. He's holding as Ramos swings and fouls.
He's one of the smartest baseball players that you'll ever see. I've enjoyed watching him play for a long time. I don't know that I've seen him make a mistake on the base pass. When he goes for another base, he's safe. He generally hits the cutoff man. Those are awesome numbers. The best that ever attempt to steal bases, like Lou Brock and Henderson, they're in the 92% range, so he's right there.
Ramos in a hot shot, hugging the ground left of the bag.
And one thing too about Jason Worth, 6'5", so athletic. Started his career as a catcher. Played a little bit of infield in the Dodgers organization, and they moved him to outfield. Always been a guy that can swing the bat, though. Comes from that Ducky Schofield lineage.
Ramos reaching, and a ground ball that should be 2. Dietrich, Echeverria, and Bohr, no problem on the 4-6-3. So that time, Nicolino pitched pretty well against Ramos with a lot of off-speed stuff that had him lunging.
Yeah, he never threw him a fastball. He either sank it or the 2 changeups.
Danny Espinosa now in another one of those situations, tough for a number 8 hitter to try to get aboard for the pitcher. He lifts one to left for Christian Yelich. So Worth is 2 for 2, the only Nats hits of the day, but they have 3 runs. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 for the Fish. Straight ahead, top of the 5th.
continue to get very impressive contributions from their bench so far this season. Yesterday, 2 pinch hit home runs, one from Stephen Drew, one from Chris Heisey, who now has 4 home runs on the year, 3 of which have been pinch hit home runs. And the thing about Heisey's contributions to this point in the season, they've come in very limited at-bats. Here's how Heisey's home run numbers match up compared with some of the better power hitters in the game. Look at the at-bat differential there. Carlos Gonzalez, 4 in 139. Adrian Gonzalez, 3. Prince Fielder, Justin Upton, all well north of 100 at-bats. Not to speak negatively on any of them, but Chris Heisey's contributions thus far this season in just 31 at-bats, 3 for 9 as a pinch hitter with 3 home runs. And he's a guy, Bob, who was probably the last player kept on this roster. The 25th man was battling for a spot in spring, and boy, has he come up huge in the first 6 weeks of this season.
Yeah, Chris Heisey, and of course Dusty knew him from Cincinnati. Heisey in the big leagues with the Reds from 2010 till 14, and then with the Dodgers for a while. And actually, Chris Heisey was in the minor leagues quite a bit last year, 66 games at AAA Oklahoma City. And then he moved organizations in 17 more at AAA Buffalo. So Dan with a spot-on Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles, 14 career pinch hit home runs and counting. 0-1. A little bit outside. Jeff Mathis, fly ball to Michael A. Taylor first time. Nicolino on deck. And a ball that's got a chance to drop into right. Here comes Bryce, and he couldn't get there. Ball pops off of him, and that'll turn it into a 2-bagger for Jeff Mathis. Harper hustling, trying to make that catch on the fly. And Miami finally has their second base hit.
This is a case where a pitcher makes a good pitch, slider down and away, hitter just making enough contact to kind of gork it over second. Only about 230 feet out there. Bryce making a valiant effort. But that's when this game seems so unfair.
Throw to second. Almost got it. Wilson Ramos came up firing right on the bag to Danny Espinosa. It's a catcher running out there, so he needs to get a little bit more of a lead to get to third on a bunt, and the Nats almost snuffed it out.
That's close. Look at the quick feed here and the quick release right there. Perfect little throw. Had it been 6 inches to the left, he may have had him, but
this was
close.
A ball.
That's
Everybody
close.
Expecting Nicolino to bunt here. He'll take ball 2.
When I say this game's unfair, we had bullets by Murphy in the inning in the third, and Zimmerman a bullet, and then there on pitcher's mistakes, and their pitcher makes a good pitch, and he flips it to right field.
Yeah, we all say that's baseball. Tell
that's
that to
baseball.
Tell that to a hitter.
Yeah.
Fastball bunted late. 2-1.
They say they always even out, and I don't think so. Depends on who you're talking to.
See, pitchers tell me all the time they do.
Yeah.
UNFP will never go for that. Two and one. A bunt that's not a good one could result in a play at third base. Catcher, as I mentioned, running. Espinosa keeping Mathis close. And now Nicolino jabs at it, and it's strike 2.
Well, first of all, you need to move forward in the batter's box. Secondly, you've got to present your bat out in front of the plate in fair territory and kind of create an early angle. If you're going to bunt it to third, go ahead and create that angle toward third base. Catch it out front, bat barrel up just a little bit above your hand so that if you do miss the bottom of the ball, you have a foul off toward the dugout. You just got to get the bat way out there. He has it out there, but as the ball's coming, he draws it back. See?
Yeah. And he strikes out with 3 bad foul ball bunts. For Strasburg, K number 6. 1 out in the 5th inning with Dietrich and Prado coming up.
Well, Strauss isn't easy to bunt. I mean, he's bringing it. Those fastballs elevated. Hard to get the barrel above that ball, and then you always have to deal with the breaking balls also, but if you just think about your top hand as a glove and just catch the ball with that top hand, it's pretty easy to do.
Derek Dietrich called third strike. A 1-6-3 double play ball.
There's that slider. Real short. That's a real short, real quick. And the reason he added that, it looks like a fastball. You just do not pick up the rotation the way you do a curveball. Curveball kind of comes up out of the pitcher's hand. It's got a lot of rotation on it, and you just see it. It's kind of a loop. Where the slider looks just like a fastball until it gets out there about 20 feet from you, and then you recognize, and a lot of times that's too late.
Remember how Max Scherzer had all those strikeouts on a low pitch count the other night?
Oh, yeah.
Today, Steven Strasburg has some walks on a low pitch count.
Yeah.
15 pitches per inning through 4. I still can't believe that man threw 96 strikes in one game.
Oh, it blew me away.
96.
I thought when Johnny said 96 that it was a misprint or that he had misread it. And he says, hey, partner, it's right here. It's right here.
Johnny stole that from me. I know he did. Close to the outside corner, ball 1.
Don't put it past us now. If we hear you say something, and we are tuned in out there after that 7th inning.
We've been known to listen to the pregame show and jot down a few things.
Yeah. Well, we are.
We're all a team.
We're in this together, aren't we, buddy?
Yeah. One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. That ball diving down and in on Derek Dietrich. And now Strasburg with 7 strikeouts.
All right, here's a slider. And if you look at it, it's going to work down and sideways. The curveball is more straight down with him. We've seen that through the years, 12-6, and it goes right underneath the barrel. And that's a tough pitch to throw to left-handers, and that's right down their wheelhouse. But at some point there, if it's sharp enough, it kind of disappears because it gets so far from your eyes, and you have a tough time making contact with it.
Here's Martin Prado, 0 for 2. Strasburg, curveball up in the zone, strike 1.
And I've seen pitchers add that 4th pitch, but seldom do I see them add it and it really become a weapon for them, because you have a tendency to try to throw too many pitches. It's hard to get all of them effective. Ooh.
Nowhere to go for Martin Prado.
Ooh.
He turned away from that ball and it just tracked him all the way. That's the last thing Strasburg wanted to do with Christian Yelich coming up.
It was a changeup. Changeup gets away from him. You see the grip. Hits him right behind the shoulder blade. See that sideways movement of that changeup, looking like almost like a knuckleball, but in slow motion you'll see that it has inside out rotation.
Well, big spot here. Tying runs are on base in a 3-1 game.
Got to knock the ball down here. Our infield needs to be back deep. They are.
Strasburg has not had a 1-2-3 inning today. And by the way, when Yelich homered in the first inning, it was only the 2nd extra base hit against Steven by a left-handed batter this season. It took 77 at-bats for that to happen. You would think that would be a stat for right-handed hitters. Target away. Counts even. Taking a deep breath. Some walks. An error. Hit batter have extended some of these first 5 innings. Crowd's starting to make some noise now with 2 outs. They know who's on deck.
Yeah, they do.
And they want this inning to end right here.
He's had a tough time the last couple of years. A hamate bone last year. Year before that, got hit in the face. Still was a number 2, was the MVP runner-up. 37 home runs, and he missed the last 20-something ball games.
1-2 to the guy in front of him, Christian Yelich. Hit to left. Going away from Worth and over his head, off the wall. 1 run scores. Stopping at third base, Martin Prado, and the Marlins are back to within a run. And with 2 outs, I expected both of the runners to score there, and Prado was nowhere near coming around third to come home.
No, he really wasn't.
Now, the ball was played on a carom pretty well by Jason Worth.
Well, Danny gets out there really deep. It's a breaking ball, a good breaking ball. But Yelich with 2 strikes going the other way. Prado had a good lead. He was off and running. The ball just came off the wall so quickly, and Danny right there, just no chance. Had it caromed right or left, they may have had a chance to send him, but.
Now, this is interesting. First base open, Giancarlo Stanton coming in. But on deck, left-handed power guy Justin Bour. Strasburg has retired Stanton twice and walked Bour twice. So he likes the right-handed matchup here. Target away.
Well, he's gonna pitch him carefully. There's no doubt. You know that you go right at this guy, it can quickly turn into a 5-3 game. And anytime a guy has this much pop, you just have to pitch him tough on the edges. Well, that's a good pitch. Slider's a good pitch.
2-0.
Once you're behind him now, look at this pitch here. It's a slider. He throws it right on the edge of the plate and just touches the corner. Listen, if the ball just touches that edge of the plate, it's a strike. It doesn't have to be all inside that box there.
And he goes 95 and gets the foul ball.
Yeah, he went right at him, too. Hey, the great pitchers, they just have in the back of their mind, look, if I throw my pitch where I want to, I'll get anybody out.
2-1. Up and in. Stanton 3 career homers off Strasburg. Came in batting .400 against Steven. Now he's 14 for 37.
Well, you just don't want to be foolish here. You make a pitch, you think about taking the plate and expanding about 5 inches up, down, in, and out.
Slider, oh man, that thing was sitting up there.
Oh my goodness.
And Stanton, a swing and a miss, the count is full.
See, that goes to show you, it doesn't always have to be a great pitch to get a swing and miss. This is a hanging slider, staying right there in the middle of the plate. Maybe a little late break, but you can see by the slight move of the mitt that it didn't break a lot.
3-2. Throws him another one. Oh, what a pickup by Danny Espinosa.
Whoa.
That was more than a bullet. That thing was
111 miles an hour.
Well, what a tough out Stanton is. And what a tough play by Danny Espinosa. Ends up sitting down, pops up. The Nats still lead by 1. First pitch, bottom 5, Strasburg fouls out to Justin Bour. Well, the story of this game now is the settling in for Justin Nicolino. Couldn't find the plate in the first inning. Walked his 4th guy by 2 outs in the second. And now since then, 7 of 8 retired, including a double play. Turning his afternoon around to stick around for a while. Here's Taylor. He's walked Michael twice. Outfield straightaway, infield pretty straight up. And Taylor will drop one into center field. Good for him. On base for the 3rd time today. Been sitting on the bench pretty much all week. And that's a 1-out runner with speed. And the versatile, move it around the field type hitter Anthony Rendon next.
Nice little stroke there, Bob, as he took the fastball a little bit middle in and worked it with a little inside out swing right back up the middle. Didn't try to pull it. Hit it right back where it came from.
Exactly what we talked about earlier. A lot of hits up the middle and to the other side of the field.
Yeah.
For a guy like Michael A. Taylor, who can use his speed in a situation like this. 80 feet of room on the right side of the infield.
Look, he's about 8 inches farther than he was before. There's no chance.
Yeah, that was a great jump. They are running at will on a left-handed pitcher.
No chance.
It's not supposed to happen.
No.
Nats are 3 for 3 today. Taylor a couple, and Harper stole 3rd earlier.
One of the first things I always ask the traveling entourage of the opposing team is, if he's a left-hander, what kind of move does he have? And I asked 3 people, and all 3 of them says not very good. And really good base runners. They can read those left-handed pitchers. Joe Morgan told me it was so much easier to steal on a left-hander than a right-hander.
Base hit left center by Rendon. Taylor coming home to score. There's your speed game. Single, steal, single. Rendon drives in his 6th, and the Nats have their 2-run lead back. And Harper coming up.
2 sweet strokes right there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Now he tries to go inside with him, and listen, Anthony is as quick as anybody. You try to get him inside. He has the ability to bring those hands in and throw the barrel with those strong, quick hands. He's starting to show some signs of life. He's going to hit 300.
How about the first 2 guys today? 6 plate appearances, on base 5 times, and they've already scored 3 runs. Here's Bryce 0 for 1 with a walk, a steal, and a run. And by the way, Anthony Rendon has scored 26 runs this year. Kind of an overlooked stat for him. That's 5th most in the league. And now he's starting to drive the ball as well to bring in some other guys. We don't talk about runs scored a whole lot.
He has a lot of hitting ability. He had that phenomenal year 2 years ago. 289, 20 home runs, almost 40 doubles, right at 40 doubles.
0-1 to Harper off speed, and Bryce pops it up. Pitcher makes the call until Echeverria tells him to get out of Dodge. 2 outs. Next up, Murphy. Listen to your favorite music while supporting your favorite team. Saturday night. That's tonight. First 25,000 fans receive a Nationals music speaker presented by Coca-Cola. Visit nationals.com/tickets. Get your tickets. Come and join us tonight. Here's Murphy. 0 for 1, a sac fly. Hard line drive out to first base in the 3rd.
Yeah, he just picks it straight up, steps straight over there.
I mean, Rendon was headed back to the bag before he even made his move.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes off right here to get another runner in scoring position. He's working his lead. Now, Taylor was out there another about 6 inches.
And by the way, that ball fouled off to 5 batters. That's 7 pitches this inning. So Nicolino is around the plate. And things are happening fast. Came into this inning with 74 pitches. We thought he might have 74 after 3 innings.
Well, there's a lot that goes into that, Bobby. You're on the road. You don't know the mound. It takes a while to get acclimated to the mound. You may have a little bit of trouble with balance and rhythm and getting back over the rubber.
And you're making only your 16th big league start,
right,
facing a good lineup with a lot of veteran guys. that can make you a little reluctant.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. A run home. Off speed, right up the middle. Heading to third, Rendon, and Daniel Murphy has done it again. For Daniel Murphy, hit number 54.
And he just stays there, and even though it's an off-speed pitch, his body doesn't move forward. His head doesn't move. Watch. He just stops there, and there's no movement as he points his nose right to the baseball. He doesn't try to overswing. It's almost like playing Pepper. He just
406 the batting average now.
That's a thing of beauty.
He goes 1 for 2. His batting average goes up 1 point. That's how good he's going. That's Juan Nieves, the Miami pitching coach. Marlins staff coming into this series 8th in the league at 4.12. The Nats scored 5 earnings against them last night, so it went up to 4.16. But we'll see their best tomorrow. The Nats can win this game tonight. They're facing a rookie. I mean, this afternoon, tonight they're facing a rookie, Kendry Flores. And they could be playing with house money by the time they see Jose Fernandez tomorrow.
Yeah, that boy can bring it.
Zimmerman, a sac fly in the first. Hit the daylights out of the ball in the third on a low liner that carried out to where Marcell Ozuna is standing right now. Teams have been jamming Ryan early in the count and taking him away after that. But now he's ahead. Target in again. Ball 2.
I think that's the way they've always tried to pitch Ryan, is throw him inside. But as was evidenced 3 nights ago when he hit those 2 home runs, if he starts looking in there, watch out. He just likes to hit the ball out away from him. That's the way he's always been his most effective, driving the ball to the gaps. Runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
2 for 2. That's pretty good.
2-0. It goes to 3-0 with Worth on deck here, bottom 5. Clouds rolling in, a little darker look to the area from the west here. Nats have a 2-run lead. It's an official ball game. That's the good news. And Zimmerman's walk loads the bases.
That's one of those unintentional, intentional walks right there. He never came close to giving him anything to hit.
Number 5 by Nicolino, right-hander Brian Morris, who pitched in the game last night, is working. Morris came in the 6th inning and gave up that home run to Stephen Drew.
Have a day, Jason Worth. 2 for 2. RBI. Find a gap out there somewhere, buddy.
I don't know if weather's blowing in here, but somebody up on our level just closed their TV or radio booth windows. We could feel the rumble as things continue to get a little darker here at the ballpark. And here comes Don Mattingly. He wants the right-hander Morris to face Jason Worth. So that's it. Nicolino will go just 4 2/3, 5 walks, and the Nats a chance to blow it open. Two outs, and Jason Worth in a moment already 2 for 2 today. And when you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the Achiever and you, we've been tracking 25-year-old outfielder Brian Goodwin this year. So with the Chiefs now batting .316 at AAA, extra base hits, RBIs, and runs are piling up. The Nats got him in the sandwich round, number 34 overall back in 2011. Some picks that take place between the first and second rounds. He's out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Always been a good player, always been a good hitter.
Jason Worth, 2 for 6 career against Brian Morris. And for Morris, 21st appearance, .368 ERA, 10 Ks in 15 innings.
So on his fastball at 93.
Breaking ball, low and away. Worth puts a halt to Rendon at third. Murphy's at second. Zim at first. Go ahead.
The slider 87, 88 is all I would say. Everything hard. I didn't see anything off speed the other night.
And there's the heater in there at 92, 1-1. Rendon, the RBI hit to Brovin Taylor. And Murphy sent Rendon to third with another hit. Yeah. And then Zimmerman the walk. Worth out to short. Slow bouncer. Echeverria. So 5 innings in as the dark skies approach. Game 1 of the doubleheader. It's the Nats 4-2 so far. Strasburg better, but Ray, he still battled his way through 5 pretty good innings.
Yes, he has. Bob, here's the breaking ball there to Dietrich. He comes back with a changeup to get Osuna, and then another curveball, then the fastball inside. See is Stanton up, fastball away, and then that little slider short to get Dietrich again. So he has been.
That's what's coming. This is a big matchup right now. Weather approaching. Nats by 2. Justin Bour, whom Strasburg has walked twice. Foul straight back. I'd say right toward us, but that's impossible. It is really dark coming in from the southwest. 0-2 pitch. Pop up. Left side. Rendon's the Lone Ranger over there. Anthony in foul ground to make that grab for the first down. Next up, Marcell Ozuna, followed by Adeiny Echeverria. These two are 0 for 4 with 3 punch-outs so far. Or as Max Scherzer called them the other night, punches or punchies. We picked up a lot of strikeout terminology here Wednesday night. That's a busted bat, and that's a base hit by a strong man. Ozuna had one of those in the 6th inning last night. Quick bat, big and strong. He's aboard with 1 out, 6th inning. So that's only the Marlins' 4th hit in their box score today. Christian Yelich, solo homer, 2 outs, 1st inning. The next one came in the 5th. Yelich, a double to drive in Jeff Mathis, who had doubled earlier in the inning. So Christian Yelich, 6 total bases, 2 RBIs today. Here's Echeverria, 0 for 2. 2 Ks. Some of the lights are on here at Nationals Park, and the entire light standards are in the process of firing up here. As the skies darken, takes a few minutes for them to get to full strength.
Keep the ball down to this guy. He hits a lot of ground balls. He runs well, but he hits into a lot of double plays. A lot of balls that could be double plays.
As I mentioned earlier, he runs well, but he's hit into 4 this year. Strasburg due to bat 3rd in the bottom of the 6th. Pitch count into the low 90s. I had a fan ask me an interesting question this morning. What if you're ahead in game 1 of the doubleheader and it rains and rains and rains, and you have another game to play? He asked me, do they call the first game any sooner because there's another game to be played? And I said, that's only the umpire's consideration, because once the lineup cards have been exchanged and there's the ground crew ready for the tarp.
Well, there is a minimum amount you have to wait the first time the tarp's put on, and then after that it's discretion.
It's the crew chief's call, and that's Alfonso Marquez at second base for game 1. He's not the senior umpire in this crew, but Larry Vanover, 27 years, he'll have the plate tonight, so he's not working game 1. But I think you probably wait as long as you would for a day when it's just 1 game.
Yeah, I think you have to be fair. It doesn't, you can't cut the other team out of having an opportunity to come back and win a ball game just because you've got another game afterward. It's, my way of thinking is you have to complete the whole deal.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's a close game as well, 4-2.
Right.
We're not wishing bad things here, but there's Tim Wallach, a great expo during his time. He's Don Mattingly's bench coach. Great right-handed hitter.
Strong.
And a 1-2 foul. Tim Wallach was a low and in, low ball right-handed batter who could really do
6'4",
damage.
yeah. He had a swing, to me, reminds me of, or Bryant reminds me of his swing with that.
Chris Bryant?
Chris Bryant,
Okay.
because they're both tall and they have that little, it's almost like a flick at the end of their swing. They move it through the zone and then have great extension.
The old M for Montreal, our predecessors. 1-2 with one out. Swinging a foul tip as Echeverria hangs tough. Boy, the wind is picking up here. It is blowing hard from the left field corner right over to the Anacostia River.
Well, it is kicking, isn't it? It just picked up. Look at that dust storm out there in left center field and beyond the
1-2 with one out.
parking lots.
Strasburg gets a ground ball right side. He'll get to it. He can shovel it to Zimmerman for the second out. And you know what? The best thing of all to happen right now? A couple of ground balls, no flies, with this wind doing what it's doing. That's crazy out there. Mathis is next.
Slider tapped. Getting over there like a big cat.
Jeff Mathis double last time off the glove of Bryce Harper. Conditions changing. Some of the folks heading for cover.
Wind's blowing about 30-40 miles an hour out to right field.
Well, I was told 3 o'clock, and it's 3:01 right now. And that is strike one to Jeff Mathis. Counts even, 1-1. So here we are into the 3 o'clock hour. Conditions deteriorating by the moment here at Nationals Park. But the home team's on top, 4-2. Ray Knight's with us for both games of the doubleheader. FP has the day off. The count 1-1.
Well, Strauss has that 95 stamped out. If he has thrown 60 fastballs today, 55 of them have been 95. He's been right on that number all day long. You ought to be able to throw a real good slider where that wind's blowing.
It's blowing to the outside corner.
It is, isn't it?
We usually say right field, but right now it's to the outside corner.
Yeah.
There it is. And that's a base hit to left. Mathis getting a start today and doing damage. He's got the Marlins back to within a run. Pitcher spot coming up.
Well, this is more of the curveball. See it up and down, 12-6 or maybe 1-7, and he just didn't get it down. He left it right up there and he hit it hard.
Ichiro Suzuki's going to pinch hit here.
Guy hitting 8 doing most of the damage, Bob.
Yeah, and Jeff Mathis had 3 hits all year, and he has a double today, a run scored, and an RBI single. Ichiro Suzuki, pinch hitting appearance last night, grounded out to second. And Strasburg, 81 to the outer half, no balls, 2 strikes. Ichiro 52 hits away from 3,000. And the 0-2, up and in. 4-3 ball game, each team with 5 hits, top of the 6th. Swing and a ground ball. Right side, here comes Murphy. Strasburg out of the inning. And with the way things are around the ballpark, that's big. The Nats have the bottom 3 coming up after 5.5. 4-3 Washington. By T-Mobile. How about our old friend Ian Desmond? Since April 24th, after a very slow start, Dez is hitting .329 extra base hits, RBIs, and 8 multi-hit games. Good for him. Jason Hamill of the Cubs. 8 starts since October 1st. He remains unbeaten. And Michael Brantley of Cleveland. That's a big loss for them. Shoulder problem, goes on the DL. That Cleveland ball club, 2 games over 500. In second place, chasing the White Sox AL Central. So we're back to action here for the bottom of the 6th inning. Strasburg scheduled to bat 3rd, behind Wilson Ramos and Danny Espinosa. And the new Miami pitcher is Nick Whitgren out of Torrance, California, 24 years of age, a 9th rounder 4 years ago. And for the Fish, he's making his 4th appearance.
You see there, he likes his fastball. He likes to get ahead of you, throw strikes. He'll work the corners with his fastball, the slider and changeup. Does not throw a lot. Can touch 95. And there you see the raindrops.
Yeah, more than drops right now. Pelting down they are. Here's Ramos. Swings hard and fouls it about 2 feet past that third base bag. Well, I got to give some kudos to Emily Whalen, who I met yesterday at the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind golf event. She's one of the meteorologists over there at Channel 7. And she said about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, you guys will have something to deal with. And this was at noon yesterday. So right on with that forecast. And good thing is the Nats have 5.5 innings already in, and it's a 4-3 lead. Ramos to the other side, and the count is 1-2. Anthony Rendon is the only batter in the Nat lineup to have faced Nick Whitgren before. So a bunch of guys getting their first look at this right-hander, who has a 2.45 ERA. 1-2 pitch. And you'll be able to hear some of the havoc that the wind is wreaking on our microphones around the ballpark. So here's the Nats box. Sac flies by Murphy and Zimmerman in the first. A base hit by Worth brought in another run. Then Anthony Rendon got the Nats their 4th run in the 5th inning. In between a whole bunch of walks, a whole bunch of base runners. Ramos to left center. He was reaching for that. Look at it go. Caught by a fan. Is it a home run? The umpires say it is.
Oh, yeah.
And it's 5-3 Washington.
That was a rope.
How strong is Wilson Ramos?
Now, we're way up here, but that ball was a line drive. Hit about as hard as you can hit it. Similar to the one that Zimmerman hit the other night. Low line drive, hit so hard that it carried just over the Kaiser Permanente sign.
By the way, Don Mattingly still top step of the dugout telling the umpires they want to look at this.
No.
I'm thinking.
I don't think you can.
And he's coming out.
I don't think you can reach over from out there, can you, Bob?
Mattingly might be asking for an umpire's look at this. And what's hard to see for our cameras and for us up here is that there is a maybe a 3-foot gap, 2 to 3 feet behind the first wall, before the wall that's right in front of where the fans sit. So if you're reaching down, you're pretty much reaching over the back wall. We'll take another look at it, but it looks like they're going to challenge. That's a home run.
Yeah, I was out
the
there. I was out there one day. We had one of these deals, day-night doubleheader, and I walked down there, and with me at almost 6'3", reaching as far as I can, you got about an 8-inch plexiglass deal there, and I couldn't get there without a glove. Okay. I just walking around the park. So now maybe you could jump and stand on something, but I couldn't get there. It's
nice play by the fan, by the way.
It was a nice play.
Wilson Ramos appears to be his 4th home run of the year and the 65th of his big league career. Yeah, the fan reached over, but it appears he reached over the back wall, and it was definitely behind the outfield wall. So there's your gap between the walls. It's called a crew chief review, initiated by Don Mattingly to Alfonso Marquez. So this does not go down as an official Miami challenge, but they can ask the crew chief to take a look.
You remember that day that the ball got hung up in the left field corner, and they threw up their hands. I forget who was playing. I think it was Logan Morrison was out there, actually. Just look right here.
Yeah, I remember that play. It was with the Braves, I think. Justin Upton.
Upton, that's right. And that next 2 or 3 days, I walked all over this park just to get, because I'd never been out there. I didn't know that the ball could get hung up underneath there. And actually, that ball wasn't hung up, but there were places you could have it hung up. But you see that 6-8 inches there, and then it comes out to the top of the fence, and then it goes to the padding. Yeah, and it's quite a stretch.
I'm a little surprised this has taken this long. The headsets are coming off, and it's a home run for Wilson Ramos. Hey, Wilson, see you later. 5-3 Nats. I mean, he went down and got that ball, and that was very impressive.
He hits the ball as hard as anybody, doesn't he, Bob? George Foster hit the ball harder than anybody that I've ever played with or saw. Stargell.
He was unbelievable.
McCovey, Jack Clark, those kind of guys. Certainly McGuire, Dave Kingman. But for a guy that's not as big as those guys, Ramos, he hits the ball a ton. Watch this swing as the ball is just about knee high, and he goes out and gets it and just flashes that strength. And you see how big he is, or strong he is around his thighs and his butt. And he just generates great bat speed.
Well, the Nats get their 2-run lead back. Some umbrellas out, but for the moment, very playable out there.
If you look at our lineup, just today's lineup after this pitch.
1-1 pitch to Danny Espinosa.
Taylor, you know, can hit 20 home runs. You know Rendon can hit 20. Harper can hit 40 plus, whatever. Murphy, I think, can get to 20. We know Zimmerman can hit 20. Worth has hit 20. Ramos can hit 20. Espinosa has hit 20. So you got 8 guys on the lineup that are capable of hitting that many home runs.
Espinosa inside out swing, left field line, dropping, and a base hit for Danny. Right between three fielders, Prado, Echeverria, and Yelich. And the Nats have 2 hits in a row. Matt den Dekker was on deck. They just called him back. And Steven Strasburg might stay in and bunt and then leave the game. We'll see.
Well, these are the kind of hits you want. Danny has hit a lot of balls hard this year, but no man's land, fighting off a ball inside. It's a thing of beauty right there now. You're talking about evening out. I used to get about 15 of those a year.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
And how many infield hits?
0. I didn't get many infield hits. I would bunt 3 or 4 times a year and get a base hit, but didn't get any infield hits.
Strasburg, 1 sacrifice this year, 32 in his big league career. And if you're going to bunt, stay with the pitcher. You don't have to use another ball player, even though Matt den Dekker is the extra man, the 26th man for the Nats in this doubleheader.
I like the way Dusty uses this. You know, you got to realize that there's a 9-inning game. It may be more than that. You don't want to use up your bullets. Your primary deal here is to get another runner in scoring position. You know that Strauss does the job generally.
And the interesting thing about this situation, I noticed a moment ago, and then our stat guy, Carter, backed me up. At least for now, nobody throwing in the Nats bullpen. Den Dekker was on deck to hit for Strasburg, but some of those guys could pop up pretty quickly and get ready. I mean, there's nobody out in the inning.
But generally, you would have somebody just up throwing softly.
Strasburg is at 104 pitches through 6 innings.
Yeah.
1-2.
We know Perez can get loose in about 10 pitches.
Yeah. It just looks to me like there's some guys standing around out there.
Yeah, it does.
They're standing because it's raining
Yeah.
under the overhang, and they might be about to sprint for the mound out there.
I'm with you. I always just like to have my guy soft tossing because a guy can hit a double play right here, and boom, you're out there. And then when you're going to get loose.
Strasburg swinging away on 1-2, and he got the foul ball.
Always better to be early than late.
See, Felipe Rivero's got a ball in his left hand.
Yeah.
Bottom 6, Nats looking to add on. Strasburg squares again early, but he could switch off and hack. Outfield defense, what you would expect when a pitcher is batting. As the Marlins, and the rain coming down again pretty steadily, shallow and to the right field side. Target way outside. Strasburg switches off again and bunts, or rather swings it foul.
Well, I'm just going to tell you my philosophy here. The biggest thing is get that run to second base. Some people do not like to bunt with 2 strikes. I don't necessarily want to bunt a position player with 2 strikes.
Right.
But I am definitely bunting a pitcher with 2 strikes because I want to stay out of double play, number 1. Number 2, I want him to get to second base. Number 2, I want to stay out of double play. So I'm not going to try to trick you. I'm just going to go ahead and bunt in this situation and get the runner down there.
Strasburg squares, but he pops it up. So they let the ball drop. And if Mathis is going to let the ball drop, why not throw to second and get the first guy and put the pitcher on first?
That's what you're supposed to do.
But he picked it up and threw to first. And Danny Espinosa's on the bag, and he has every right to that bag.
So
Strasburg is out.
You see a lot of people do that, but they seem to fail to recognize which runner you want at first base.
Right.
Let's see if this ball hits the ground first. What he does, he puts himself in a position. Boy, is that ball fair?
It looked like I might have gone foul.
Is that
before
ball
he picked it
fair?
up.
It's got to go past third base. If it hits and kicks foul, oh yeah, it's fair. It's fair. He smothered it right there on the line.
So again, what Mathis wanted, it appeared that what he should have done was pick it up and throw to second, force out Espinosa.
That's what he should have done.
And then you hope the pitcher's not hustling and you can double him up, but they threw to first. And Danny Espinosa has the right to the bag, I think, until Strasburg gets to the bag, which he never did.
Oh,
so Mattingly discussing this with Alfonso Marquez and Roberto Ortiz. And we mentioned Roberto Ortiz, first base umpire. Congrats to him, making his major league debut today. So that's a 2-3 on a bunt with Espinosa still at first.
Yeah, young kids, remember this. If you're a third baseman, first baseman, catcher, pitcher, and you bunt and the ball's in the air and you try to trap it and you allow the ball to hit the ground, come up and throw to second, because the runner at first is frozen. He's frozen. So come up and throw to second, and if you're right on top of it, now if it's a high pop-up, obviously the batter runner is going to get to first base, the bunter runner. But on a ball like that, you just come up and gun it to second base, because the guy at first has to freeze. And then, worst case scenario, you've got the pitcher changing places with Danny, and there's a good chance you'll get a double play.
Yeah. There's Felipe Rivera. I think they were just waiting for the first out, and then he's up and throwing. Rain pelting down here. Michael A. Taylor's had a perfect day. Walk, steal, run. Walk, single, steal, another run. So he's 1 for 1.
Yeah, this guy's quick to the plate. About a 1-2. Hard to run on him. Danny not even look like he's interested in running. Working his lead a little bit, but still not what's considered a big lead.
0-2 with 1 out. Swing and a miss. 2 down. Rendon is next. Max Scherzer celebrated his historic 20 strikeout game with $20 low level seats. So you can sit on the lower level tonight or tomorrow. Visit nationals.com to purchase tickets and use coupon code TWENTY at checkout.
What a night, what a night. Oh my gosh. I don't know that I've seen anything that was any more exciting than that and any more dominating. Just chills every
Here's Rendon,
pitch.
strike 1. Hey, by the way, I've had a lot of fans ask me already if they could get a copy of my scorecard from Wednesday night. Well, we have it posted online. If you go to nationals.com to the message boards, and there's a thread on there called Ask Bob, which we've been doing for about 9 years. There's a link on that to Masson's Twitter account, and you can find the scorecard from Wednesday night when Max Scherzer struck out 20, and you can see the game as we saw it. So thanks for those folks who wanted to know that. And again, nationals.com, just go to message boards and Ask Bob, and you'll be able to check it out and maybe score along with us here. Rendon 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI hit and another base hit.
Yeah, he's swinging it.
Espinosa had to pull up so it didn't hit him. Danny stops at second, and Bryce Harper will bat here in the 6th inning.
We throws him a ball away from him, and he just goes right with it. Short little row of his hand, that little hand action there, and sounded like he may have broken his bat, but nonetheless hit the ball hard that way.
Well, Bryce today on changeups by Justin Nicolino popped up twice. He was walked in the first, and then Nicolino gave him a bunch of off-speed stuff and popped him up twice to short.
Well, this guy likes his fastball first pitch.
And for about the 3rd time today, the Nationals have a chance to break the game wide open.
And I say that, this is the first time I've seen him, just reading scouting reports. Those things are pretty accurate most of the time.
So the Nats now 2 hits first 4 innings, 6 in the last 1 2/3. Trying to put a stamp on this game. Up and away to Bryce.
Yeah, he liked his fastball, but he liked it 18 inches off the plate. And not too many people want to throw that first pitch fastball to Bryce, do they?
That's a strike with 87.
Boy, they're calling that ball low.
Yeah, David Rackley's had a low zone all day. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Let's check it out. I don't know if he caught it funny or, yeah, that's a strike. Right at the bottom of the strike zone. Hard pitch to swing at. Certainly don't want to swing at it until you get 2 strikes.
Target outside edge. He missed on the other side of the plate, but it was low, 2-1.
It's got funny action. I don't know if that's a splitter. I don't have it in my notes as a splitter, but it has a little funny action to it. The ball doesn't seem to have a whole lot of rotation. It could be a splitter, a palm ball. Might be a straight changeup that he grips funny. I don't believe it's a circle change, though. It does have late movement, but going in there with all of his fingers right there.
2-1 pitch.
Slider.
Similar pitch. 3-1. Ramos is homered in this inning. Espinosa base hit. 2 outs later, Rendon, his second hit of the day.
This could be real loud. We used to say that in the dugout. 3-1 count, all 3-1 counts. This could be loud.
Let's see what he throws him. He gives him a fastball, tailing to the outer half.
Yeah, not a pitch to hit. Good pitcher's pitch.
3-2 count. We'll
Right
have Espinosa and Rendon on the move here. On deck, Murphy a base hit last time.
Well, everything's been away but the one slider. See if he stays away with him.
He walks him and the bases are loaded. Bryce on for the second time today. Walk number 39.
Respect, respect.
Now Murphy a chance to break it wide open. Every time the Nats walk this year, and Bryce has 39 himself, the team 133. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to Girls on the Run DC. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield wants each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Go for a walk. 30-second clock is at 12:11:10 for Juan Nieves to vacate the premises. Murphy base hit last time. A sac fly, a line drive out. He's made great contact 3 times. Again.
He's going to make you pitch to him. That might be his forte, is ability to get a good pitch to hit.
Looks the strike all the way in, counts even. Conversation with David Rackley. Just eyeballing the pitcher. As you said earlier, so still. Outside, 2-1. Well, their starter threw 86 pitches in 4 2/3.
Yeah.
And now their third pitcher, Whitgren, up to 30. Murphy to center. It'll play for Marcelo Zuna. So a long inning for the Marlins in the field. It all started a long time ago with Wilson Ramos going down and getting one. First row, nice play by the fan. And when that left the yard, it was Ramos' 4th of the year, his 14th RBI. And after 6, the Nationals lead 5-3. Washington 3-5-0 Miami. So the Nats a 2-run lead. We get to the late innings now, and it'll be into the bullpen here. Let's check in on some strikeouts. Subject of much conversation all week. So Max goes from 46 to 66 in one game. And Strasburg today goes from 58 up to 65 with his 7 Ks. He didn't have one after the second out of the 5th inning, but a quality start and a chance to go 6-0. So here's Felipe Rivero, the 24-year-old lefty, and for the Nationals' 19th appearance.
64% fastballs. Slider to changeup. Got a slider that just keeps on breaking. If he starts at middle of the plate, I don't know too many left-handers alive that can stay with it.
Derek Dietrich 0 for 2 career against him until that swing. And that's going to get by Michael A. Taylor. Dietrich can run. He's going to get the second and stop. And maybe the rain helped out the Nats there because it slowed down that baseball. That looked like 3 bags easy for Dietrich.
This ball was hit really hard, and Michael A. just takes a bad angle. You know, you got to go back on this ball a little bit. He had no shot to get to it. But I tell you what, he got to it in a hurry as he goes on. But you're right, bud. If it hadn't gotten soft out there, that would have gotten to the wall and probably would have been a triple.
There's Martin Prado. 0 for 3 against Rivero. 0 for 2 today, hit by a pitch. These Marlins keep coming at you. They're a good hitting ball club. They collect base hits. Now they're 12th in the league in runs, but they're 4th in batting average. So they'll get guys on base. Rivero wants to chat with Ramos with a runner looking in from second. Most of the crowd invisible to us. They are up under cover. But as the rain continues to fall, and not exactly a downpour here, play continues into the 7th inning. Sean Kelly for Stanton, who's still 2 hitters away. Left-hander Christian Yelich on deck.
Let's look at Michael A. as he reacts to this Dietrich. See how he waited about a count before he got started. Didn't get a good jump, wasn't off on the crack of the bat. Just a tad, 1 tick delay. Then you've got to create an angle that you can go back and cut that ball off, Bob.
Rivero throws an off-speed pitch, and it's 2-1. So game 1, Nats have led all the way except for the top of the first. And a very important juncture of this game. Rivero gets a swing and a foul tip.
FP talks about a closer in waiting with Rivero. He is a guy that just has such a live arm. You've seen the slider, 93 today, 94. But the ball just moves everywhere, and he comes from that 3/4 angle, throws just a touch across his body. Oh, that's a pretty good pitch.
Went with the changeup, and it just missed.
I don't know how you take that pitch with 2 strikes.
Target inner half. That ball well hit to center. Reading it pretty well and coming around to score is Dietrich. And here come the Marlins again. It's a 5-4 game. Now these guys have 6 hits in their last 3 innings. Martin Prado, that's his 51st career RBI against the Nationals.
Always been a good hitter, doesn't do a lot either. You just turn Murphy around, and that's what you see in Prado. Hasn't hit a home run this year. Has always been good for 10, 12, 14 home runs. But he just thinks about making contact, and he does that as well as anyone.
Yeah, big boppers behind him now. Lefty-lefty matchup. Christian Yelich's 0 for 3 career against Felipe Rivero.
I was going to say, how about that big bopper right there with that 2-5 on his back? Barry Bonds.
And by the way, for Martin Prado, they threw the baseball into the dugout. 500th career RBI. So just over 10% of those against the Nats, 51.
Wow.
Barry Bonds had about 1,500 more than that. By the way, there was an interesting incident with a bat here last night. Remember Ozuna's bat when it broke? And they went over to the Nationals dugout, and before the baseball authenticator could get to it, they took it over to the Marlins dugout. Why? It was one of Barry Bonds' bats. Barry Bonds did not sign the agreement with Major League Baseball during his career for his memorabilia to be authenticated. He handles his own stuff himself. So rather than a game-used Barry Bonds bat, and that's a strikeout, a big one for the first out.
You know, Willie Mays never did either, and he's Barry Bonds' godfather.
So that's what that whole bat thing was about last night. And Dusty's coming out to get Rivero. Yelich didn't like the call.
Good spot, though. Just perfect slider.
I think Yelich wanted to know, was it called or did I swing?
Both. Both.
So 1 out. And the Nats will go further to their bullpen. Sean Kelly to face Giancarlo Stanton. The Nats by just a run. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Felipe Rivero done after 3 batters. He gave up a run last night, another one today. And here's Sean Kelly against Giancarlo Stanton. And in this matchup, Stanton is 0 for 1 against him.
Breaking balls, 57%. That'll tell you what he likes to do. He throws a slider, and Giancarlo doesn't like the slider.
There's 2 of them.
Now, if you hang it middle in, everybody likes it.
Fly ball pitcher, as you can see from the graphic. Runner at first, 1 out. Stanton killed the ball last time, and it almost took Danny Espinosa into left field with it. A remarkable play with 2 runners in scoring position back in the 5th inning. The big defensive play of this game by a mile. Now it's 1-2 to the big man. Outfield straightaway, deep.
Another slider. No fastball.
He tried to run it back to the outside edge.
Yeah.
Nissan will track it.
Good spot, just a tad off the plate. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know how you take those pitches. They rung them up on me.
2-2. Got him.
Spot.
92 by Stanton before he could react, and that's a big second out. Now it's Justin Bour.
Well, that's just perfect, man. You go away, and then you come back in, changing the eye level. There's a little thing called muscle memory with a hitter. You kind of remember where the last pitch was, whether you like it or not. Takes a tremendous amount of discipline to get away from that. He spotted the ball away, then came back in, couldn't do anything with it.
So here's Justin Bour.
That's
0
right,
for 1 with 2 walks against Strasburg today. And against Sean Kelly, career 0 for 1. Murphy well out into right field. And this one to Danny Espinosa, who used to play a lot of second base. So Sean Kelly comes in, puts out that 7th inning fire. Now it's time for the 7th inning stretch on a suddenly rainy and cool day at the ballpark. Nats by 1. Clock tonight. The Tanner Roark fan club was on full display in Chicago. And tonight he'll take his 2-2 record, 2.03 ERA against the Fish. 2-1 with a 1.08, by the way, here at Nationals Park. And he will be taking on a Miami rookie, Kendry Flores. Second career start. Took a loss against the Phillies first time out. We'll get you going at 6:30 with Nats Extra. Johnny and Phil. That's over on Masson 2 tonight. Ray Knight back in the booth with us for the nightcap. Day night with Ray Knight here on a Saturday.
Hey, hey. Let's play two.
Probably be a t-shirt somewhere later saying that. And here we go to the bottom of the 7th. Nick Whitgren still in there for the Marlins. And for the first time faces Ryan Zimmerman. Ryan 0 for 1, sac fly, line out to center, and a walk in the 5th. That was the last pitch of the day for the Miami starter, Justin Nicolino. Playing through the downpour here. It's up to the crew chief, Alfonso Marquez, at second base as to when things become too tough to play. He's been in close touch with John Turnauer and his crew. They've been poised over on that first base side near the tarp for about 2 innings now. Target away. He didn't get it out there, and Zimmerman bloops it, but it's out of play.
No, he missed his spot there, 2 feet. That ball was inside about 5-6 inches.
Breaking ball, hit hard the other way. Board knocks it down. It gets away from him, and Ryan Zimmerman's safe. And this might be an interesting call for the official score.
Give him a hit. He smoked that ball. You got to think it's wet out there. You got to think about the conditions. He goes to pick the ball up. The ball's wet. I'll give him a hit. Why not? It's home. We're at home. He smoked this ball. This ball's a slider away, and he hits it really hard. He hits the ball on the hill. That might be a reason not to give him a hit. Look at that. He didn't give him a hit, and he didn't like it because he smoked it. He hit the ball hard to center field. We're always told when I played that at home they would give you the iffy hits because they're hard to come by.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how sometimes, from the official score standpoint, doing what's the right thing in their mind goes anti to that philosophy. Because, you know, Rafe, if they give him a hit, nobody complains. He gets a hit, but if you don't give him one, the batter's mad, and then the fielder gets an error, and he's mad too. So that was an error on Justin Bour.
I understand all that, but they're not down there trying to feel it. That was a peak.
In the rain, on a wet track. That could get changed. We'll see.
Well, Zim's not, you know, he's not the type to ask for a whole lot when he throws his hands up like that.
0-2 pitch, and Jason Worth takes it upstairs.
And I'm not one to just say, hey, give a man a hit. I'm not. You know, you earn it, but when a ball's struck that well, you've already accomplished what you're supposed to do, and that's make solid contact. You can't guide it, but I do think the ball hit him in the heel of the glove. That might have made a difference.
Worth in the air to right. It'll back up Stanton. Edge of the track. Halfway onto the track. Zimmerman going to second. Great base running play. Got back and tagged and got the Nats 90 feet, making it a productive out.
Great piece of base running. Not a lot of base runners would have tagged there. So often there's a base to be had, and especially wall balls, people go to second base and then have to retreat. You go to first base. If he misses it, you're going to get to third anyway. I like it.
Runner in scoring position in a one-run game. A couple of times the Marlins have gotten it back to within one, and the Nats have had the answer. The last time was this man, Wilson Ramos, with a leadoff home run, 6th inning. That ball was hanging up there a bit.
He's seeing the ball real well. There's not a flinch. He's just sitting there, just waiting to explode. Uses his bottom half as well as anybody on our ball club.
Busted bat. One hopper, Echeverria, and Zimmerman had to retreat. Ball was hit right in front of him. 2 outs. Potomac Nationals will be back in town next week. On the 27th, a Lucas Giolito t-shirt. On the 28th, the Bryce Harper MVP bobblehead. And on the 29th, Bark in the Park to get your tickets. And they're going fast. 703-590-2311. PotomacNationals.com, and there's Blake Trinan. Danny Espinosa, base hit down the left field line last time up. Big rip. Straight back it goes.
Get that ball down about 2 or 3 inches, and Danny will hit a gapper. Thigh high and down to his knees from the left side. He's dangerous. Start elevating on him. If he chases it, he's always had a hard time getting up on that ball.
One ball, one strike.
.43 pitches.
Yeah, trying to work 2 long innings here.
Yeah, still liking his fastball. A few more breaking balls than normal.
And that hits the bag, it appears, or right next to it, and goes to Justin Bohr. So the Nats are done in the bottom of the 7th inning. They've now stranded 9 runners today. And here come the Marlins again, and John Turnauer checking with the crew chief. Nationals baseball on Masson, brought to you by WGL Energy. Visit WGLenergy.com and you'll find easy ways to green your energy and help the environment. Some barbecue chicken to warm up your cool Saturday afternoon.
Where are we going to get that at?
I don't know. Maybe Dan Coco can retrieve some for us. In the meantime, Dano has more on Sean Kelly.
Bob, no chicken, just a Sean Kelly note. Sean Kelly, as we said last inning, he's thrown 57% sliders this year, very high percentage of breaking balls. I asked him how he's able to get away with that. He said over the years he's gotten really good at reading swings. He actually reads swings from hitters more than he watches film on hitters, so he kind of adjusts in the middle of an appearance. He said he's not afraid to throw 5, 6, 7 sliders in a row. He's not scared off by doing that. He knows a lot of hitters are up there sitting fastball, just waiting for one heater. So he's not afraid to tease him with those breaking balls, and he'll expand the zone with it, throw a lot of sliders, and get guys to chase. It's been very effective for him over the last couple of years.
All right, Dan, well done. 7 pitches, 4 strikes for Kelly. 7th inning against 2 tough hitters in Stanton and Bohr, guys with power. And here comes another one, Marcell Ozuna. By the way, we got a weather report. John Turnauer and the Nats teaming up on the weather. All that wind was the very front of the front, if you will, and things have calmed down since then. They are hopeful that the rain will stop here in the next half hour or so. We shall see. Trying to play through it all and be on time for the nightcap at 7 o'clock this evening. Marcell Ozuna. Fastball up in the zone. 0-2.
Bob, I'd like to comment on the report there. When you throw 4 or 5 sliders in the row, you better make sure that that 3rd, 4th, and 5th one are better than that 1st and 2nd one. What you have happen so often is a guy throws you his best slider the first pitch. And then the next pitch, he throws you the same slider, but by the time he gets to the third pitch, he throws one that's not quite as good, and it gets hammered.
Yeah.
So if you're going to throw that many, you better make sure you're finishing them off.
1-2, base hit right field. Well, that was interesting what you had to say last inning about a hitter's muscle memory when he sees a certain pitch in a certain location, and then how he reacts on the next pitch. I hadn't heard that before.
Well, that's how a lot of pitchers, as they say, set up hitters, is by going into an area a time or two, and the hitter starts feeling that. Their eyes, that's the last thing their eyes saw, and if you're not careful, you just kind of start leaning out there a little bit, and they bust you inside, and you're done.
Here's Echeverria, who's 0 for 2 against Sean Kelly.
No thought of bunting the tying run to second base on the road.
And you have 8 and 9 coming up.
Certainly not with the bottom of the lineup up there. Although he has a choice for a pinch hitter if he wants to in that 9 hole.
Boy, Danny Echeverria's been struggling, and he was late for a 91 fastball there.
You know, he's in between. You know, we talk about that a lot. The breaking ball, he's out in front of the fastball. He's laid on.
There's Oliver Perez. By the way, the Marlins and the Nats, of course, Kelly now, maybe Trinan or Perez to follow, and then ultimately Papelbon if it stays close. They have no left-handed batters left. They only had one. Their bench is almost like their bullpen. Bullpen, no lefties in the bench. Ichiro Suzuki, about it.
Well, we saw Narveson earlier. I thought he had a nice breaking ball, and they just decided to go without a left-hander.
There's a pop-up. Ryan Zimmerman is under it. Yeah, Narveson was part of that 4-home run 7th inning in Miami. And I don't know if that was one of the things that got him sent
May
out.
have been.
And Toyota Case for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers helping children and their families. We're making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH. That's the National Institutes of Health. Every time the Nationals pitcher strikes out an opposing batter. Well, get Jeff Mathis out, and you might beat the Marlins today. He was 3 for 24 in 7 games, and today he's 2 for 3 with a double, a run, a single, and an RBI.
He's always been a guy, Jeff Mathis, as a number 2 catcher throughout his career. If you look at some of his batting averages, 211, 194, 211, 195, 174, 218, 181. He's never been a guy that's been known for his bat, but you couldn't tell that today.
Yeah, so that tells you what a good defensive catcher and a good receiver he is. I mean, he's swinging like he's playing every day right now. That was a healthy hack on 1-0. And you saw JT Realmuto, their frontline catcher. The Nats have played a bunch of managers lately. Joe Madden and others who have not hesitated to use their backup catchers in ball games.
Yeah, that's not something that people used to do. Certainly not with a couple of innings left, unless there's somebody over there that we don't know of who is capable of being an emergency catcher.
Realmuto started last night. He was in the leadoff spot because Gio was starting, and he went 2 for 5. One-two with one out, and Ramos smothers it way outside.
Mathis, just to let you know about him, parts of 11 seasons with the Angels, Toronto, and Miami. Just 371 hits coming into this year.
Good athlete. He was a high school quarterback. Swing and a miss. Kelly gets it by him. 2 outs here in the 8th. And the Nationals have racked up 10 strikeouts today.
Well, what do you think he throws him? Not the slider, the fastball inside corner. Just kind of leaning out over the plate. You see the way he finishes with the swing out over the plate. That tells you that that muscle memory that I talked about, he's thinking away, and his posture kind of takes him that way and makes him short on inside pitches.
JT Realmuto is 0 for 1 career against Sean Kelly. Kelly trying to get this game as the bridge to the 9th inning. Oliver Perez still warming up, probably for Derek Dietrich if the inning goes any farther.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. Dietrich, Yelich, Prado sandwich in between.
And Oliver has already retired Dietrich in this series. 0-1 with 2 outs. Good slide piece. That one appeared to be changing planes on its way away.
Well, it was. When he gets on top of it, it does go downward and it looks more like a curveball. He calls it a slider. Sometimes when he's along the side of the ball, it has more of a sideways movement with some tilt. He's spotting that fastball well.
Got him. Sean Kelly, quite an outing. 6 batters, 1 single, 3 strikeouts, and he'll get it to the 9th. Pitcher spot due up. The Nats by 1. All the way, really. Biggest lead the Nats have had have been 3-1, 4-2, and 5-3. Most career hits by active managers. We got 2 of the best here today. Don Mattingly, 2,153 hits. Yankees, Dusty for the Giants and the Braves. A couple of different ball clubs. So you got some managers who can hack. And probably Matt Williams is not far off of that list. Brought to you by Jeep. Jose Urena using that fastball a lot. 24 years of age, from the Dominican, and for the Marlins, high ERA, just under 7. He's given up 13 hits, 8 earned runs in 10 innings. First up, in a leadoff spot for the pitcher to get on base, the Nats will go with Matt den Dekker, the extra player allowed for the doubleheader today.
I know the last time he got in here late, he hit a bomb. What was that, Atlanta?
That was Atlanta, the first series of the season, right after Ben Revere got hurt. And I tell you, I talked to Matt after that. He was so happy about that ball he hit off the wall in Atlanta. He was also happy to be playing in some place where it was over 40 degrees. Had just gotten off the plane after being with the Syracuse Chiefs. Look at those Nats ponchos. Well done, guys. Dendecker against Urena, 2 for 3 with a homer, 3 RBIs. Here we go. So he's up hacking. Dendecker, Taylor, Rendon, possibly Harper, a reliever who works off the full windup. Not many do anymore. And that's a 2-1 pitch. Of course, we call it full windup these days. It's nowhere near as full as those used to be. Hey, there's good news. Ground crew's going to go have dinner. Maybe the rain's about to stop. Dendecker hits one hard. 2 hops, it eats up Dietrich, and Matt Dendecker's aboard. And Ray, this goes back to your point from last inning. That was an easier play than the one Bohr had to make on the Zimmerman scorcher, and this was a tough one to do.
It was, but you don't realize that when you start the game, you look at wind, field, sun, ground, and fences. 5 things you look at. The field is pretty hard when you first check it out. You know what the ball is going to do, how it's going to bounce.
That's what batting practice is for, right?
Right. And then all of a sudden it starts raining, and now the ball doesn't bounce, it skips. And, you know, you don't know how much is skipping until you get a chance, have a ball hit to you. So, you know, oftentimes they just automatically say, oh, that was an error, he should have had it, not realizing that he had no chance because he hasn't seen that ball. It skips on him.
That's Dietrich's first error of the year, too. He's a good second baseman. In fact, he can play other positions. So here's Taylor, 1 for 2, 2 walks, a run, a steal. In fact, 2 steals. And that's the second time he has squared around today.
I was given errors on balls that I had no chance to catch. And then I was situations where they gave hitters hits on balls that I should have gobbled up. You know? Because they just don't know. Everything looks flat here. Man.
You know, and I can understand that call. It was right
yeah,
at Dietrich.
Of course.
But after the official scorer sees that play, the Zimmerman one from last inning should be changed.
Right.
Because that was Justin Bohr off to the backhand side.
Right.
So, you know, we all have our opinions about this, but I'm telling you, these are tough conditions.
The only point
Field's been wet for an hour.
The only point that I'm making is that an error should be on a ball that's a routine play that a player just should make, right? I mean, that goes without saying. But in these kind of conditions, nothing is really routine.
Yeah, that's well said. Great job by Taylor pulling the bat back as he had squared. 5-8-1 Nats. They've stranded 9. 4-8-2 Marlins. They have left 7 on base. Well hit left center. Now what's this ball going to do when it hits the turf? Ozuna boots it. That's going to bring Dendecker home. And if you ever need to know how non-routine things are at the ballpark, that play is a great example.
Yeah.
It is 6-4 Washington. What a good day for Michael A. Taylor.
He smoked that high fastball. And once again, ball skipping, not doing what it's supposed to do, not doing what it's done in the past when you play at the ballpark. And, you know, baseball was never meant to be played in rainy, sloppy weather because it's such a finite sport, you know. I mean, such a fine sport.
So another error, this one on Ozuna, his first of the year. Base hit Taylor, second on the error. I mean, you hit a ball that hard today, it's trouble for everybody. Nobody out. Here's Anthony Rendon, and again, for about the 4th time today, the Nationals a chance to take command of the game. Trying to give Papelbon a cushion now. He already has 2 runs to work with in the 9th.
Bob, in the World Series in '86, Jim Rice hit me a ground ball in the 8th inning with a runner on second base, and it had rained the night before. It's late October. Everything is damp, and I feel routine ground ball, and I feel it when I go to pick the ball out of my glove. I get nothing but a wet spot. I mean, the whole side of the ball was wet. And I gripped it firmly and threw it to first and pulled Keith Hernandez off the bag, and the ball came out of my hand like a spitball, but of course, had to be ruled an error, no doubt about it, because you're supposed to learn how to be able to handle those things, but sometimes just the condition of the field will throw havoc in what you're trying to get done.
Rendon looking for a 3-hit day. And that's a line drive picked off by the second baseman, Dietrich. Good job with nobody out by Michael A. Taylor of staying home, not to get doubled up.
Nice try right there, too, by Rendon, trying to get the ball to the right side to get the runner to third base with less than 2 outs.
MLB.TV Premium, #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Every out-of-market game live in HD. Includes a free subscription, and they're walking Bryce, by the way. So don't stop the presses. Free subscription to At-Bat Premium. Blackout, other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. So Bryce has done a little damage today, or in this series at least, but this will be the 3rd time they walk him. 40 walks on the year now. And it's the right move for Don Mattingly, trying to keep the game close.
This man on deck has a little something for him.
Bryce Harper, 1-for-1 career against Urena coming in. And now 2 walks. Ryan Zimmerman has never faced, Daniel Murphy with Zimmerman on deck. Facing him for just the 2nd time, 0-for-1. Still only 1 out. And Daniel Murphy looking for his 19th, a multi-hit game of the year. Change up, ball 1.
I like the idea of Taylor getting a good lead at second base, forcing Hechavarria to stay there and make him aware, because that leaves that big hole that Murph can shoot it through on the left side.
Little run to that 88 over the plate, 1-1. Only one other game in the National League in progress this afternoon. Cubs at home, leading the Pirates 6-2 6th inning. They have an 8-game lead in the Central. Murphy out of play, left side.
Giancarlo very shallow in right field. I mean, right on top of the second baseman, actually. Going to be difficult, even though Michael Taylor can run, but you've got to consider when he goes to field that ball, it will be wet. There's no way that Henley's going to stop the runner, because you've got to catch it cleanly, throw it accurately.
Yeah, and then the catcher's got to pick it.
Yes, he does.
When Murphy gets hold of one, it'll be over his head for a couple of runs.
Yeah, because he's a good 10 feet, 12 feet in. Yelich, same way in left field, but you would expect him to be there on the off field. He's been playing him pretty much the same spot all day long.
1-2 to Murphy. 23 RBIs. Urena steps off. Urena working extremely slowly now. Not only steps off, but almost walks off. And by the way, I'm looking at the infield between first and second and third. When you start seeing the stadium lights reflecting off the dirt, that means things are getting quite wet out there. No routine ground balls. Certainly now.
Great point, Bob.
Field in fantastic shape, thanks to John Turnauer and his crew. But it's been raining since the 6th inning. Now that is an emergency hack.
I love it. Battle up there. It's a war. Check this out. Up and in. I'm just going to protect, make a little contact, go to another pitch. Maybe I'll get something better to hit.
One and two. Murphy way out in front of that. You know, that's a nice play because on the way over, that ball deflected off one of the big thick wires that holds the backstop in place.
Well, I see it shaking.
Yeah, it was moving. Well done on the redirect. One ball, two strikes. Murphy strokes it the other way. Quite a pick by Prado. And no chance for a relay. Murphy came close to making this a 7-4 game, maybe more.
Boy, he's good. Just takes a pitch out away from him, slaps it. Nothing but a great play. Keeps that from going down in the corner for a double and maybe two more RBIs.
And it'll be up to Ryan Zimmerman now. Ryan has had a very odd day. 0 for 2. Could be 1 for 2. Actually, he could be 2 for 2. Lined out hard to center. And then on a scorer's decision, an E3 in the 7th, on a ball he hit extremely hard to the right of Justin Bourne.
I still,
you know, and if I'm Dusty Baker, I want the grounds crew to work on that infield before the top of the 9th. That infield we talked about.
Yeah.
The key to that play by Prado, it was in the air most of the time before it got to him. This one's on the ground to Prado. He's on the charge. Tosses one over to Bohr, and that's it. So the Nats pick up an unearned run. Papelbon has a 2-run cushion. 9th inning, straight ahead. in this game. So we'd like to invite you when it's over, and hopefully Papelbon takes care of that. Tune into the Nats Extra postgame show. It's presented by W.B. Mason, Johnny Holiday, and Phil Wood. Get alerted when a huge play is on the horizon. Text Nationals to 29292 for in-game alerts, opportunities to win meet and greets with your favorite players. Again, text Nationals to 29292 for alerts you don't want to miss. So a lot going on here. They're fixing those spots in the infield, and we've seen puddles form between first and second and between second and third. We just heard down on the field through one of our microphones, they're concerned now about the bullpen mounds. And sometimes the pitchers and the bullpen catchers will take those tarps and cover the mounds themselves while the grounds crew is busy, but you can see the puddles. That's a compound that's got some sand in it. It's been called diamond dry. It's been called turfus. That really helps to soak up the water. But as we found out in the past, the ball can have some pebbles and stuff on it when you pick it up on a wet track. So time to play baseball, and here's Papelbon. This could be interesting. First up, Derek Dietrich, who's 1 for 5 against Jonathan. Papelbon struck out JT Realmuto and grounded out Martin Prado in a 2-out save last night in a 5-3 game. Misses on the first 2. Past Troy Percival for number 10 all time last night.
Man, that's quite an accomplishment. Pap struggling a little bit. 14 innings pitched, 18 hits, .310 batting average against.
There he gets it in there. 359 Papelbon saves.
It's a lot of last outs, isn't it?
It's a lot of handshakes, but he walks the leadoff man in a 2-run game.
Now that, I'm not saying that to make any excuse, but the mound is not what he's accustomed to. There'll be a little slippage out there. Stuff will cake on the bottom of his cleats. Just makes everything more difficult. One thing Papelbon has never done is walk people. He only has 2 walks this year. That's his 3rd.
Martin Prado, 2 for 11 against him, including that ground ball last night. That one is in there. .91 with the heater, strike 2.
Good spot right there.
Rain coming down. There's a big time puddle just to Daniel Murphy's left on the right side of the infield. So here's a 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball. Espinoza. Murphy in the mud. They turn a 6-4-3 with a tag by Zimmerman.
Nice adjustment by Zim there. You come across the bag at second base, your right foot, as you plant it and start to throw, it gives you a little bit of slip, 3 or 4 inches, causes you to throw the ball errantly, but watch there as he starts to make his throw. Nice job, nice speed. Didn't look like there was much of a slip. Just what the doctor ordered.
That was huge because now Yelich can't tie the game. Christian Yelich against Jonathan Papelbon, 5 out of 8 career with a home run, 2 RBIs. 1 out to get.
And Danny fielded that ground ball right where most of that water was at shortstop. That they put that turfus or surface or whatever you call it over it.
Strike one. Yeah, Danny and Murphy played that about as carefully as you could. Close. Well, you don't want to walk Yelich in front of Stanton. Make this guy earn his way on.
He just throwing the splitters when this run doesn't mean anything. I think he would just go right at him with a fastball.
Uh-oh. 2 walks in the inning. How big does the double play look now?
He goes 1-1 splitter, 2-1 splitter to get him to 3-1 when you don't care if he hits a ball 400 feet.
So here's Giancarlo Stanton, 4 for 13 with an RBI career against Jonathan Papelbon. Oh. 89, it must have played quicker than that.
Well, it was just neck high. Neck high, you don't hit that ball.
Papelbon in the rain, working as quickly as he's comfortable with. And an 0-1 to Stanton. Yelich takes second base, but now he comes back.
It's obvious
as the ball's fouled off.
It's obvious he's throwing him up there. I mean, that's 6 feet high. The man's 6'6". You just don't want to throw it up there and get it chest high.
Rain coming down hard. The Nats by 2 with 1 strike to get. And Yelich has to come back again. Hayden. Papelbon doesn't like any of those baseballs.
Well, that last pitch was a slider, and it didn't do anything. It actually kind of looped it back, like a backup slider, looped back toward Stanton's hands.
Now, that's something I've never seen before. The bat boy came out to give the umpire baseballs, but the bat boy threw the ball to Papelbon.
What?
Without the umpire touching it.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
No balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a tip. It's as good as a miss, and the Nats have won it.
Well,
a 6-4 win and number 11 for Jonathan Papelbon.
He got one that he liked, John. John Papelbon got one he liked because that was a dandy little slider. Look at the break on this thing as it starts and goes down and away. About as good a slider as you can throw in a perfect spot. He did nick it, but Ramos makes the play, and we put number 1 in the books.
Well, a long night of baseball ahead, and man, it was a long afternoon of baseball. The Nats win it 6-4, and they are now 10 games over 500.